Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Donnie Samir, Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. We'll greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We're rolling to Senegal. We are rolling to Senegal. That's going to be May 9th through the 18th. May 9th through the 18th. Got a couple spots remaining. If you're interested in joining us in Senegal to listen to some jazz, some good old jazz music, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa. Let me turn down. Please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. Would love to host you all in Senegal. The best food in Africa, if you ask me. Some of the best shopping you can do in Africa. If you're into shopping, that's what you like to do, you can do all of that in Senegal. So please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. We're also going to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival. That's August 2nd to the 11th. And then we are going to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. That's September 20th to 29th. And then we're going to Sierra Leone in November, and also Ghana and Ivory Coast. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo.Africa to learn more. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. So this panel or debate was between Daniel Bwala and Mehdi Hassan. Mehdi Hassan is a journalist for Al Jazeera, and Daniel Bwala is the spokesperson for President Tinubu, who's the president of Nigeria. And it got heated, and it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest with you. If this is the leadership that we have in our country, Nigeria, we're in trouble, because this was pretty bad. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just wasn't prepared. Again, maybe he just wasn't prepared. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, because I'm nice. I'm very nice. But this was pretty bad, y'all. It was pretty bad. So let's jump into it. But before we do, guys, go to Danfo.Africa. Make sure you sign up for the mailing list. while you're there. And guys, I call, like, if you go sign up for the mailing list, you will get a phone call from me. Again, you will get a phone call from me when you sign up for the mailing list. Most definitely. Most definitely. You will definitely get a phone call from me. So make sure you sign up for the mailing list. All right. But let's jump into today's topic. Let's play this footage. It was pretty bad. And as a country, we should be definitely be embarrassed. All right, let's jump into it.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, and I'm the CEO of Phoenix Energy.
Civilians, you know that, right?
There we go.
2023, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is elected president of Nigeria, promising to tackle the nation's widespread insecurity and address two of its root causes, poverty and corruption.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria.
Nearly 3 years later, international attention is back on the country, with the US launching strikes as a, quote, Christmas present, claiming Nigeria is failing to stop a genocide against its Christian population. But whilst the Nigerian government denies these claims, there's no disputing that wider insecurity is spreading. My guest tonight was once one of the president's fiercest critics, but now serves as his official spokesperson and special advisor, defending the president's efforts to renew hope
Guys,
for
the guys
Nigeria.
really quickly.
I'm Mehdi Hassan, and tonight I go head-to-head with Daniel Bwala. I'll challenge him on Trump's Christian genocide claims, the Nigerian government's failures to protect its own people, and whether President Tinubu profits from corruption. I'll also be joined by a panel of experts. Anu Adeoye, a journalist with the Financial Times, Aisha Osori, a lawyer and development expert with Open Society Foundations, and Tunde Doherty, chairman of the APC ruling party's UK chapter.
Guys, I love Nigeria. I love my country. I absolutely love Nigeria. It's just it has its issues. Beautiful country. Rich culture, specifically Yoruba. The most intact African culture that I could think of that is readily accessible to learn about and study and partake in. But this interview should not represent all Nigerians. But this was bad. Our discussion, mate.
Daniel Bwala, thank you so much for joining me on Head to Head. Nigeria is a proud, sovereign, independent nation,
Yes.
a powerhouse in
Yes.
Africa. So why did you just let Donald Trump and the United States bomb your country on Christmas
God
Day?
damn.
The United States government did not bomb.
He came out guns blazing. Goodness. Guys, I'm sorry. I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. Northern Nigeria, to be specific, what's going on in the north needs all the help we could get. I'm sorry. Needs all the help that we could get. Even Iran now is talking about they're going to come help Nigeria, which I don't know how that's going to work. Because they're kind of preoccupied right now. But yeah, it needs all the help it can get, Northern Nigeria. I tell people I don't go north of Abuja. Because we ain't got the answers, Sway. We ain't got the answers for what's going on in the north.
Our country. The decision by the US government was anchored on the intelligence sharing between Nigeria and the United States and the agreement on the operation.
So Donald Trump just didn't bomb Nigeria on his own whim?
No. The US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio,
And that's what I've been telling people. So Nigeria and the USA collaborated on dropping those bombs. But from my understanding, they didn't hit anything. which is a problem because the issue's still ongoing.
Called our own foreign affairs minister when the decision was made that that was the time to strike, and the foreign affairs minister got in touch with the president.
So this was a joint operation, you're saying?
Yes, it was a joint operation on the
Yeah,
Nigerian.
What I don't understand
Guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button as you come into the chat room. I appreciate it.
is, how can it be a joint operation when
Yeah.
Donald Trump says that there is a genocide going on against Christians carried out by Muslims with your government turning a blind eye?
And
You've called that narrative a hoax. You said it creates discord in Nigeria.
Right.
So when Donald Trump says he's bombing Nigeria to protect Christians from a genocide, is he lying?
We both disagree as to whether the so-called genocide in Nigeria was against Christians. We believe that it is a targeted killing by insurgents, Boko Haram bandits, and all of these criminal elements against the people of Nigeria, Christians, Muslims,
understand how strange
and those who have not identified with any religion.
He's correct.
Donald Trump believed it is Christians. We now felt, rather than arguing about whether it is against Christians or not, there is one area we both agree, that we have a joint interest in the fight against terrorism.
But you're fine with the fact that his motivation is something you disagree with. You
It's
think
not
it's a
normal
hoax.
with
Yes, because
So when Donald Trump says there is a genocide against Christians in Nigeria, is he telling the truth?
it is a half-truth. In the sense that, yes, Christians have been affected, but the whole truth is that both
You're a little bit
Christians,
more polite
Muslims,
tonight. You
and
called it
those
a
who have
hoax
not
before.
identified. I said the narrative of Christian genocide was
He's
a hoax.
pushing it.
That's his opinion.
Yeah,
Everybody's
is he right or
entitled
wrong?
to it.
Is he right or wrong?
We believe there is a targeted killing of all Nigerians. Evidence has shown. And that is where we are focused on fighting terrorism.
So let's talk about the terrorism.
Right.
Trump claimed he targeted, quote, ISIS terrorist scum.
Right.
And every camp got decimated. But a lot of investigative reporting on the
That's
ground
not
shows
what
that few,
happened.
if any, combatants were killed. Some bombs landed in
not
empty
what happened.
fields. A local leader in one of the districts said, the same militants we knew are still there, loitering around our communities.
No, there were killings of terrorists.
That's not what local leaders
So
are
I
saying.
can call local television that testified. Arise News did, Channels Television did.
Okay.
So there was the killing of
Well, you're not on the
terrorists in
ground
that
with
place.
respect.
No, I didn't.
Al-Haji Bunu, who's a traditional ruler in the district, says, we saw no dead bodies, even where the bombs fell. Those are his words.
No, because the bomb didn't fall.
No, you are correct. Mehdi is disingenuous, but he's still cooking Bawala. Again, I agree. Mehdi is disingenuous, but he's doing his job as a journalist, and he's cooking Bawala. He's getting but I do agree.
In the town. It was at the camp, that enclave, where they gather.
Are you okay with having the Americans bomb Nigerian people's homes?
I'm not aware of that one.
You're not aware of Morenike Saka, who said, I began to scream for help. I had to crawl my way out of the room. The missile tore through her apartment building, according to the Washington Post. How about Musa Soliu? I was in my room. I was buried under the ruins. I don't know how to restart my life. My belongings are destroyed.
Houses were not destroyed.
Are you telling us that Nigerian citizens are lying about being bombed by the
I
US?
am saying that the military operation that was conducted on that day was targeted as terrorists, and we hit them.
You have a history of not hitting terrorists and hitting civilians. You know that, right?
God dang. Oh, Lord Joe, my. Throw in the towel. Throw in the towel. Oh, man.
Country.
I'm not aware.
Oh, well, on December 21st, the Nigerian Air Force said that they handed over compensation to people who were hit in an accidental airstrike on Christmas Day 2024. Do you just bomb every Christmas?
When and when?
Christmas Day 2024 and Christmas Day 2025.
I dispute that fact.
We'll take it up with the Nigerian Air Force. Let me ask you this. Since President Tinubu came to office in 2023, the situation has worsened in your country. You have a mixture of militant groups, you have bandits, you have clashes between herders and farmers.
We also have
Nigeria is now
incursion of foreign interest in Nigeria.
Nigeria is now the 5th deadliest country in the world. Are you proud of that record?
Lord.
I acknowledge the fact that we have insecurity in Nigeria, and until the hoax narrative of the Christian genocide, then we began to see back-to-back attack in Nigeria. We had, for the first 2 years of the president's administration, a substantial peace in Nigeria.
Actually, the number of deaths went up on the president's watch.
After this incident of a Christian genocide. And by the way,
when did that begin?
There is no country of the world today that is free from insecurity.
No,
there
I
are
agree.
parts of London
that's why
you can't go in the evening.
Okay, but we're not bombing London to root out militant training camps.
But you have had so many of the bombing on behalf of the
Let's
United
just
Kingdom
put this
by
in
the United
context here,
States.
since you're making rather spurious
No,
comparisons.
no, the context is
11,000 people were killed in conflict in Nigeria in 2025. That is up from 8,700 in 2023. That is a 26% increase in the number of Nigerians killed since your party and your president came to office. That's a pretty awful record.
It's awful. And we're fighting hard day and night. But that's one of the reasons why the president traveled to Turkey, where we had bilateral agreement to deal with insecurity. That's why we're cooperating with the United States of America. That's why we're cooperating
it's
with
not
any country of
working.
the world. The reason is because
It's not working. It's not working. All the meetings with Turkey, with the joint attack with Donald Trump, it's not working. It's not working. I'm sorry. Love Nigeria though, specifically the Southwest.
Since the 9/11, terrorism is a global phenomenon.
Agreed.
And so every country is involved in it.
But it's getting worse in Nigeria. That's the problem.
I can't say it is getting worse.
You just agreed with me when I gave you the numbers.
No, I said-
700 killed in 2023,
Right.
11,000 killed in 2025. That's getting worse.
How many people were killed in the United States last year?
In conflict-related violence, probably.
So this is not
one.
a conflict. This is an act of terrorism.
Okay. So how many people were killed in the United States in
excuse me,
terrorism?
sir.
It wasn't
This is
11,000.
This is part of what Donald Trump many years ago in his first time classified the Western media as what? Fake news. The reason is because context matter.
This is not Western
No.
media.
You
right?
are well
This is
aware.
not Western media.
Yes,
This
I
is-
understand. But
this
you
is
are
the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data,
No.
ACLED, the most respected group
When
that
you-
counts conflict-related violence around
Let
the
me
world.
ask you, where there is a terrorist
I could also
attack, do
give you
call
another
that an armed
source.
conflict?
I mean, National Human Rights Commission. This is a Nigerian group. 2,266 people were killed by bandits or insurgents in the first half of 2025. That's more than were killed in all of 2024. You are failing. Amnesty International says you are failing at security. The numbers don't lie.
It's unfortunate, and as a government,
And it's getting
we're
worse.
working day and night
And
to
it's
deal
getting
with that
worse.
situation. I don't agree to the fact that it's getting
How
worse.
can it not get worse if more people die in 1 year than the previous year?
Context matters.
What's the context?
The context is not getting worse.
What?
Oh man. See, Larry, we need you. Larry, we need people like you to come back, Larry. Larry, we need you to come back and get involved in politics, Larry. People like yourself, you black Brits, you Nigerians who sold out Nigeria to be black Brits. That's what we need, Larry. We need you to come back. I gotta run that back. Hold on, run this back.
Give you
call
another
that an armed
source.
conflict?
I mean, National Human Rights Commission. This is a Nigerian group. 2,266 people were killed by bandits or insurgents in the first half of 2025. That's more than were killed in all of 2024. You are failing. Amnesty International says you are failing at security. The numbers don't lie.
It's unfortunate, and as a government,
And it's getting
we're
worse.
working day and night
And
to
it's
deal
getting
with
worse.
that situation. I don't agree to the fact that it's getting worse.
How can it not get worse if more people die in 1 year than the previous year?
Context matters.
What's the context?
The context is not getting worse.
What?
Yes.
The context is not getting worse.
The context is that it is not getting worse because you see, this is a water, right?
The water.
If you have the water half, you could say half glass filled or half empty.
Yeah.
Is it-
So what he's saying is, listen, it's getting worse, but it's really not, because we're going to look at the positive. We're going to look at the positive of it. Again, see this water I got right here, you guys? This water? See this water I got right here? Hold on. See this water I got right here? See, it's either half empty or half full. So we're dealing with, we're gonna be positive, y'all. Even though the terrorism problem is getting worse in northern Nigeria, we gonna stay on the positive side. It's not half empty, it's half full. I understand the context. I get it. Now Larry might not get it, because Larry's now a black Brit. Larry, he's now a black Brit. But see, I love Nigeria, so I get it. I get the context. It's just, again, Larry's a black Brit now, so he's gonna act and pretend like he don't understand, but he understands. Larry understands the context. Shame on you, Larry.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Western media always see Nigeria, Africa, and some of the activities in Africa as half empty. Excuse me. but we see it as half full, because when we look at it, and when I say context matter, before the president took the oath of office, we knew the situation in Nigeria.
And you made it worse.
When he made the decision to take bold step to put Nigeria in better trajectory, we were well aware of the fact that it was going to incense lots of people.
Okay.
We are also aware.
Made your point. I get the glass half full. I get the context. I also understand basic mathematics. Let me ask you this. President Tinubu only declared a national emergency in November of 2025, brought in a raft of policy changes after Trump declared your country to be a country of particular concern for failing to deal with the threat of Christians. Does your government only spring into action when it is internationally shamed into doing so?
Unfortunately for you, 6 months before that, we arrested
my
the
bad,
leaders
y'all,
of
my
Black
bad.
Kurawa and Boko Haram. Some months before that, we killed a certain number of terrorists that the U.S. government, State Department, commended Nigeria. The U.S. Embassy celebrated the fact of the exploits of Nigeria before Donald Trump said that.
But again, he shamed you, and you declared a national emergency. You didn't do it before he shamed you.
We declared the national emergency 6 months before Donald Trump's statement.
No, that's not true.
The president
of November of 2025.
No. Much earlier, around, I think, April or May, the president declared national emergency on insecurity.
But the actual national emergency was in November.
How can it be actual?
People can look this up. Let's talk about kidnappings. The world remembers Chibok in 2014, when 276 schoolgirls were taken by the militant group Boko Haram. Very little has changed, unfortunately, in Nigeria. Just last November, 250 students and staff were kidnapped from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State. 2 years into Tinubu's presidency, Nigerian research firm SBM Intelligence said, and I quote, "Nigeria's kidnap for ransom crisis has consolidated into a structured, profit-seeking industry." That's embarrassing for your country that you have a kidnapping industry.
I agree with the fact that the insecurity associated with kidnapping has now become a crisis economy. But much more than that, I know of our government's effort in dealing with that insecurity. If you have a little understanding of the nature and the boundary and the geographical measurement of Nigeria and the tendency for insecurity to come in, then you will understand that we're fighting a hydra-headed insecurity situation. With respect to the kidnapping of children, the government has taken measures already. We've introduced what we call Save the School, where students and schools that are in remote places where there is no security are brought back into state capital, where they get the education that they need.
But Nigerian people don't believe you. 2 out of 3 Nigerians say that
Where did you
security...
get that information?
Africa Barometer, May of 2024, 2 out of 3 Nigerians say security agencies are handling the abduction of Nigerians fairly badly or very badly. 1 in 3 Nigerians say they personally know someone who's been kidnapped.
Yeah, you have
These are stunning statistics. Amnesty, Human Rights Watch have lined up to say that you have allowed impunity to flourish, you have failed to apply lessons from previous attacks, damning indictments of your security service.
That's not what they said.
That's not what Amnesty said?
Yes. Amnesty...
I've literally got the quote right here.
Quote it.
The authorities' failure has allowed impunity to flourish and the killings to spread to many parts of the country.
Source.
Amnesty International, February 8th, 2026.
Well, I'm not aware of that one.
You're not aware of that one?
I am aware. I'm aware.
At the weekend, you put out a video to music of you and a team researching and prepping for this show. And yet every time I've asked you something, you say, I'm not aware of that. What were you researching in that video?
You're really funny. Let me tell you this.
A serious question. Amnesty International, you asked me for a source, I read out the source. You asked me for a date, I read out the date. What's your response other than picking up glasses of water?
No, Amnesty has a history of calling everything bad.
Okay. I think that's what every authoritarian government in the world has said.
What is Amnesty's report about US?
Bad.
Not just bad. You didn't use the word bad. You read.
Yeah,
what
very bad. Governments who do bad things, they all criticize human rights groups.
No.
Yeah, they do. I do this for a living. Let's ask about corruption before we go to our panel who are waiting patiently here. Transparency International, they say systemic corruption continues to plague the defense sector, causes a major hindrance to security. President Tinubu said in August, there is no more corruption in Nigeria. That's a ridiculous thing to say, is it not?
Hey, look, hold on. Look at his face. Hold on. Look at his face. Hold on.
Say there is no corruption in Nigeria.
It is getting clearer to the people. We have more money to the economy and no more corruption. Full stop. Close quote.
Good. So this is the context.
The context. Hold on.
Hey, is it not?
Oh, look at his face. Hold on. Look at his face. Look at his face. Hold on.
I do this for a living. Let's ask about corruption before we go to our panel who are waiting patiently here. Transparency International, they say systemic corruption continues to plague the defense sector, causes a major hindrance to security. President Tinubu said in August, there is no more corruption in Nigeria. That's a ridiculous thing to say, is it not?
We
Hold on.
Sector causes a major hindrance to security. President Tinubu said in August, there is no more corruption in Nigeria. That's a ridiculous thing to say, is it not?
Hold on. I wish I could slow motion this. Hold on. Look at his face. Hold on.
we investigated a case of corruption, not just in the defense, but anywhere in government. This administration has had lots of people who are in government, either sacked or investigated and being prosecuted. The resolve of our administration in dealing with corruption is obvious.
Why did he say there's no more corruption?
You probably read him out of context.
No, I didn't.
No, read exactly what he said. You're cherry picking. How can someone just stand and say there is no corruption in Nigeria?
It is getting clearer to the people. We have more money to the economy and no more corruption. Full stop, close quote.
Good. So this is the context. He was communicating to the people about the exploit we're having as a result of the decision to remove fuel subsidy. We dealt with the question of corruption in the oil industry.
And that's not what he said, but okay, he didn't say anything about the oil industry.
That's why I say context matters.
Well, you can't just make up the context. He didn't say anything about the oil industry. He said we have more money to the economy and no more corruption. In fact, he was criticized in Nigeria for this. Last question on this. How can Nigerians take Tinubu seriously on eliminating corruption when he appoints someone like Abubakar Bagudu as Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, a man who, according to the US Justice Department, with others, embezzled, misappropriated, defrauded, and extorted billions with a B from the government of Nigeria under the dictator Sani Abacha. Bagudu avoided criminal charges. He cut a deal with the Nigerian government, returned some of the money. But the president literally put Nigeria's budget in the hands of a man who's accused of looting billions of dollars.
You started your introduction by saying it's a sovereign country. The decision of the court in the United States does not bind the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
But he gave $163 million. And that man is now in charge of the Nigerian budget. You're okay with that?
I think.
Do you think it's funny? I mean, two-thirds of Nigerians
you think it's funny.
No, I don't. I think people who are giving $163 million back shouldn't be in charge of the country's budget.
Thank you for your observation.
Okay, but do you think they should be in charge of the budget?
There's no evidence that that minister has misappropriated funds in the government of Nigeria.
Why did he give back $163 million?
To Nigeria or to the US government?
Nigeria.
Why did the US government give him $100 million?
It's settlement. That's what you do in settlements.
Okay.
Why was he settling?
Yeah, so
okay. So you're comfortable with a guy who is accused by the US Justice Department of embezzling with the Sani Abacha regime billions of dollars being in charge of the budget?
Are you okay with a president of one of the countries in the world who was convicted by the courts in that land and the person is still governing the country?
Who are you referring
to? No, I'm just asking.
But which country?
Okay, are you also okay? Are you also okay?
Because if it's Donald Trump, I'm a well-known Trump supporter.
Are you also okay with the prime minister of a country who was accused of making the wrong judgment in an appointment that led to a lot of problem, but he has not resigned, he's still governing? Are you okay with that?
Well, by the time this show airs, he may have resigned. So your argument
now
that
Keir
Starmer and Donald Trump, basically everyone else is corrupt. Okay, let's go to our panel on that.
Jesus. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's finish this.
I'm joined by Aisha Osori, a lawyer and writer with the Open Society Foundations. Aisha, how would you rank this government's record when it comes to security?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say 1. And I think one thing that I haven't heard in the conversation so far is that since President Tinubu came into office, we have no diplomatic presence in any of the major capitals. And the reason why this is tied to insecurity, for example, let's use our borders with Chad, Niger, Cameroon. When you have no diplomatic presence in those areas, then you're not able to engage on the insecurity. We talked about kidnapping a few minutes ago. There must be a link between the atrocious amounts of money that are being raised by kidnappers. Over $1 billion in 2024, according to the national, from ransoms. That must be what's fueling the insecurity. So there's a link between the kidnapping industry and the rising insecurity. So killing a bunch of terrorists while constantly there's a wave of terrorists coming in through the borders from Chad, from Niger, Again, another thing that's been alleged is that President Tinubu's bad handling of the coup in Niger, where he said we were going to attack them, was one of the triggers for these countries, Niger and Burkina Faso, leaving ECOWAS. I'm just saying all of that is connected.
Yes. So let me bring in Tunde Doherty, who is the UK chairman of the All Progressives Congress Party, the party of the president. What is your response to Aisha when she says 1 out of 10 security rating for your country?
Definitely, what Aisha is saying, well, does not really have bearing. We have the diplomat that does fulfill the policies that of government. And in terms of the security situation we're talking about in Nigeria, it's not today's thing. And we must look at the solutions that this government has put into force. You find out that the security architecture in Nigeria has been changed. We talk about the collaboration between the government and the United States in terms of dealing with insurgencies right there and then. Because, you know, Nigerians don't manufacture most of these high-tech required equipment to deal with such situations. The president, the government, is really doing quite fantastic work in making sure that they fight these insurgents, collaborating with all factors or all countries that is ready to work with them.
Let's bring in Anu Adeoye, a journalist for the Financial Times who recently covered Nigeria and West Africa. Anu, we can't talk about insecurity without also talking about the economy and the underlying social economic issues. Is the average Nigerian both safer and better off under President Tinubu?
The obvious answer is no, right? And before I get to that, I want to talk to what Daniel said. I always find it very interesting with Nigerian government officials who cherry pick statistics about the US and the UK, but they never say how many hours of uninterrupted electricity as the United States had compared to how many Nigeria has had. They never try and find, you know, the good statistics that Nigerians don't benefit from. If you look at the poverty numbers, this is according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. More than 120 million Nigerians are living in multi-dimensional poverty. So that's not just people who lack $2 a day. That's people who can't afford food, who can't afford shelter. And even if you look at the numbers of the people who have died, right? These are wartime numbers for a country that is officially not at war. And so I think it's really, really difficult to make an argument and say, you know, things are trending in the right direction.
Casualty numbers, wrong direction. Poverty numbers, wrong direction.
Right. You know, we were very clear with the Nigerian people when the decision was made. It will bring discomfort temporarily, but the long term is what we are promising. We decided to also involve intervention mechanism in dealing with some of the hardship that the people undergo. Now, when that decision was made in May 2023, it was hellish. But as I speak to you today, the numbers, the indices, and the stats are favorable.
Guys, let me ask an honest question. Is this America's fault? Is this the West's fault? Like what's going on in Nigeria, would you blame this on the West? And the reason why I say that is there was a young lady who asked the question. She said, if immigrants built America, why can't they build their own homelands? And people got on her. People start talking about her, calling her out of her name, saying she's stupid. She needs to pick up a book. And I just responded, that's a fair question. And of course, the response was because the West, America, destabilizes these countries. Now, what we're seeing right now on display, can we blame this on America or the West? This right here.
To the economic reform that we have introduced, our foreign reserve has increased substantially. Our net import dependency went down. Our export production capacity has gone up. Our naira is strengthened. We have provided opportunities for families who could not afford to send their kids to school to access grant and go and have their education, cost of fee, tuition fee, as well as the cost of living.
You mentioned school. 20,000 schools in Nigeria have been shut in the last few months because of these kidnapping attacks.
Correct.
18 million Nigerian school children are not going to school, according to the UN. That is the highest number anywhere in the world. Are you proud of that?
I'm not proud of that because of insecurity. But the measures we are taking now, we're restoring them back to their schools. And some of them whose schools are located in places where there are no governed spaces. We're bringing them back into town. So when you give out your stats or your opinion about an issue, also incorporate this fact so that the viewer will look at, yes, there is an obvious fact that because of the policy decision that it brought kind of untold hardship, but also we are making progress in this regard.
So I agree with you. That's a fair point. We should look at things in the round, and you pointed out things you've done well. But then you need to do the same thing. Do you accept then that the poverty numbers are going in the wrong direction?
Yeah, sure. It's like
that's the crucial one for a lot of Nigerians.
No, but numbers don't lie.
141 million people in 2026 are going to be living in poverty in Nigeria. 62% of the population.
Then I explain to you why. Context matters.
I agree context matters. It's a failure. What you did produced 62% in poverty.
So the IMF, the World Bank, and the Brentwood, they have applauded the reform decision we took. Now, tell me one country of the world that will introduce that kind of reform, and there won't be consequential effect in terms of action. Even in the United Kingdom, as we speak, there is a cost of living crisis. Are you aware?
No, I'm not aware of that. Okay. Let me bring Anu back in from the FT. Is that a fair point that Daniel makes, that the IMF, the World Bank are praising what we're doing and actions have consequences?
Yeah, look, I think ultimately those reforms had to happen, right? There was chronic mismanagement at the central bank.
Let me bring Larry in, because Larry's in the, I'm gonna pause the video. I'm gonna bring Larry in since he's calling from the UK. Guys, make sure you hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, share, subscribe, and super chat. Charles Onuwama 2200, thank you for 499. Holla. It's a mixture of both. I feel like Nigeria should take charge of their destiny and fight the evil government for the sakes of future generations. All right, unmute yourself, Larry.
Hello, can you hear me?
You're kind of muffled, like you're on a Bluetooth headset. I don't know, or like you're fighting your mic now.
Is it better now? I'll probably have to disconnect and call back.
No, you sound good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, you sound good now.
All right. Yeah, it's in answer to your first, you asked an interesting question. Are Nigerians at fault for this, or is it the West? I would agree with you. Well, I believe it's Nigeria's fault. It's not the West. Nigerians have made mistakes over the years. It's caused problems. The thing that I really wanted to talk to you about was when I spoke to you all that time ago, when America deployed troops to Nigeria and they started bombing. And Trump said no new wars, but we know he doesn't stick to what he's saying.
Correct.
What was mentioned in here in that debate was the fact that the Nigerian Air Force had to pay compensation because with all the bombing, they killed civilians.
No.
Sorry, they didn't kill civilians. They destroyed the property of.
No, so he mentioned they had to pay compensation for the bombing that took place Christmas Day of 2024.
Yes.
Not 25.
Yeah. And they had destroyed property. People's property had been destroyed. He was describing how people were living in rubbles. They had survived the bombing and stuff. And you know, the funny thing is, I was watching. Do you watch Arise News at all?
Here and there.
The interesting thing is, on Arise News a couple of days ago, there's a journalist called Rufai.
I know. I'm familiar with him.
Yeah,
he wears the glasses, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
He was debating the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, and he was calling out the corruption and also what Israel was doing. But in the chat, loads of Nigerians were cussing him out. One thing I've noticed, for some reason, Mehdi Hassan can do what he's doing, and he gets away with it. If it was a Nigerian who was doing the same thing, whether it was a Nigerian with an English accent or an American accent or a European accent or even a Nigerian accent, if they did exactly what Mehdi was doing, they'd be called out as sellouts and told that they should. Yeah, they would. Because if you saw what happened if you go on Arise channel, look in the comment section when Rufai was debating the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, and he was calling out the discrepancies and the corruption with that war in Iran, he was just getting cussed out by Nigerians in the chat.
I saw that, Larry.
Hold on, Larry. I'm gonna tell you who was probably cussing them out. And golly, I don't want to start this already. So you know, up in the north, they're defending Iran, our northern brothers and sisters. Like they're literally protesting, and they're upset about what happened to the grand leader, whatever his name is. So that's probably who's calling this guy out.
I know in Nigeria they do have a Shia community. They are not Shia Muslims. They're small. The bulk of the Muslims are Sunnis, but there is a Shia community. Maybe those guys are devoted to the Ayatollah.
No. The Muslims, period, are defending
even the Sunnis, the ones in.
Yeah, what's this guy's name? Gumi. That's up north. This what's it called? This Islamic cleric up north, Gumi or Gummy. Gumi. Yeah, he's like a apologist for just when Boko Haram, ISWAP. He's just an apologist across the board.
Okay, sorry. Let me interject and say.
Wait.
Well, no. Go to Larry. We'll get to you.
Before I finish, I just wanted to get your opinion, Dinus. Do you agree? I mean, Mehdi Hassan's one of my favorite political commentators. There's a guy in the UK called Femi Oluwole. I watch him sometimes. In America, there's another guy.
Okay, you know what? You're right. Okay, so I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting. I got to get my brain together. So, Larry, you're saying that Nigerians were cussing out Rufai for challenging the Israeli ambassador.
Yeah, in regards to criticizing the war in Iran. What I was getting at is that Mehdi Hassan.
So who was criticizing, Rufai or?
No, Rufai was criticizing the Israeli ambassador to Nigeria, who was defending the war in Iran. And in the comment section, it was filled with Nigerians who were disagreeing and abusing Rufai. And what I was getting at,
Christian Nigerians, Christian.
Yeah, so it was probably the Christians doing that.
Maybe. But what I'm saying is, in regards to what we're watching today, Mehdi Hassan is brilliant. But I'm saying he can get away with it because he's not Nigerian. If he was a Nigerian with an English accent, an American accent, even a Nigerian accent, and he was doing what he was doing, he would get called out, cussed out for being a sellout.
Well, Larry, that's not necessarily true. What's the guy in Nigeria? I forgot his role. He's the Ministry of like Public Works. He's over like, he's been.
Dave Umahi or something?
Yeah, he's Igbo guy.
He
was like the governor of Enugu or Anambra or.
He is David Umahi.
River State, governor of River State. Ebony State.
Yeah. So, a lot of Nigerians were calling him out over this coastal road, and they didn't get too much pushback, like in person. So he had a press conference, and there were Nigerians there who were just calling him out about the coastal road. That coastal road going to the South Calabar, the Lagos Calabar coastal road, and Nigerians were grilling him, and I didn't really hear any Nigerians like really upset at the people that were grilling him, this government official. So
I hope there are more of them, because it must be understood, criticizing the Nigerian government doesn't mean that you're criticizing your people. The Nigerian people, the Nigerian culture, and the government are two separate things. It's like in America where they say, if you're criticizing the Trump administration, you are not American, you're not being patriotic. It's the same thing in Nigeria. If you criticize the government, it doesn't mean that you hate Nigerians. You're just pointing out corruption and inefficiencies, which is what Nigerians should be doing anyway, because it's a democratic country. So I'm guessing you agree with what Mehdi Hassan was saying, Dinus, for the most part, because I remember at one point.
It was absolutely. It was embarrassing. I mean, it was embarrassing. Absolutely, I do.
Yeah, but it's not only about criticizing.
But Charles, let me do this. Let me pass to Africa. I'm gonna pass it to you. Africa, go ahead.
Yeah, greetings, Dinus, and everyone. Chats and the panel. Larry, greeting to you.
Let me finish up. I have no issue with Northerners. I just know that part of Nigeria is a problem. I mean, that's the reality of it. Like Northern Nigeria is a problem. I'm sorry. Like, am I lying? I'm not saying
if it wasn't. If it wasn't a problem. Yes. Okay. I got very. First of all, Dinus, this guy you're watching now, Daniel Bwala. I was in. I don't know, Larry. Do you know One Man Went to More? Do you follow him?
Not anymore. I did not in a while. Not in ages.
Okay, One Man Went to More. He was more of a Yoruba Nation guy, and me and him became friends on different platforms over the years. And I come to his platform and now and again, and we share ideas.
Sorry, Africa. Dinus, you should know that guy. He used to come on your panel. One Man Went to More.
Now and again.
He used to come on your panel.
What's his name?
one man went to more. It's quite
Yeah.
pro Yoruba,
He's very I don't say passionate, but he's very I don't
tribalistic, and
I
yeah,
don't
he's very divisive. He's a
yeah,
divisive
divisive.
figure.
Yeah, disrespectful. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember him.
yeah, it's very divisive. But over the years, we exchange. I deal with all kind of figures, right? Because I tend to, be a reasonable person. I was on this platform when this Daniel Boala got recruited. But Daniel Boala used to work for Atiku. Okay, he was with Buhari government first, and then obviously he went to Atiku because things didn't work out for him, and he came to One Man Went to More platform on that day, was out there talking, having a general discussion about foreign policies. And it was at the heated time of the AES when Nigeria was going to be used to launch, against Niger and so on. So Daniel Borala was happened to be on that day on this platform, and because he wanted a job, via Tinubu, because One Man is a very pro APC guy, and so, and after the interview, because One Man interviewed him, and I believe that a lot of senior politicians in the Nigerian government that actually follow One Man's platform now and again, and because he's probably connected, right? So after that, One Man asked me, he said, "What do you think?" I said, "This guy is very dangerous." I said, "I don't think he's into that government because what One Man was, in fact, one of his statements was saying Obasanjo actually did not support Obi. He was actually Obasanjo was secretly supporting Tinubu. He wasn't supporting Obi, which I know that's not true. Okay, he was like playing the tribal card. Oh, how can Obasanjo support Obi when he's a Yoruba man? He rather support his own Yoruba brother instead of supporting Obi. And I thought, nah, because I know few people of all tribe who was actually supporting Peter Obi at that time. So that's definitely not true. And I actually dislike the guy, based on his dishonesty and everything. And also, I criticized One Man about Tinubu foreign policy, and I said to him, how can you have a government that don't have a single ambassador outside your country, and you don't have any foreign minister? Like, come on, how is that possible? And then stuff like that. And sometimes when he criticize, the APC government, One Man get funny. And I thought, okay, I don't care. I will just criticize anyway. So the reality is, I'm here to speak the truth. And I come, like, for example, sometimes I come on Diners platform, I get with everyone because I see what they like. Sometimes I come in there, as I say things that people don't like, and people insult. That's fine. So I was honest with him. I said there's two things. I don't, like that guy. I think he's a bad idea. And even the last time I came on this platform, me and One Man argue about the same guy because of the stuff that he's spewing on the internet. I said this guy needs to go. I said if this guy got a job through if this guy got recruited by the Nigerian government through your platform, you need to find a way for that guy to be sacked because he's no good. And look at exactly how it turned out. And I came back to his platform. I said, look, remember I warned you about your guy foreign policy because I was me before. I'm not Nigerian, but I liked Peter Obi what he stood for. Okay, because he was a young, energetic guy. But when obviously Tinubu became president, I said, "Come on, guys, give the guy a chance. Let's see how he gets on. Before you guys just criticize him just because he's a Yoruba man, because that's the reality. Okay, some of the people that criticize him is because he's from the Yoruba tribe because they don't like the fact that they haven't, have access to power. Let's speak the truth. But some of the criticism against Tinubu is 100% right also. So because like Nigeria, you can't get away from the fact that it's a highly tribalized country, the religious divide. That's why I don't like when people, you know, um, basically try to play into that, and also the regionalism also adds on top of that, right? So it was. I just saw the guy as a clown. I think the guy is no good for the government. It's not good for Nigeria. These are the people that destroy the country. You can see why the country is full of insecurity, tribalism. The country don't have any politician that actually looking out for the people. Yes, Obi is a bit more younger than the other guys that are running. Like for example, Buhari, Atiku, Tinubu. These are old granddads, man. They have no energy. So then, yeah, I actually air my view, and me and him had a bit arguments, and I just logged out. I just opted out the platform, and that's a problem. And we need to Nigerians. I mean, you're right, Hilary. I was watching the Israeli ambassador on that platform. Yes, the guys that was on there, they're not. They're most of them. They sound like they're from the southeast, and they were supporting the Israeli ambassador and criticizing Rufai. And these are the same guys that would normally, clap for Rufai when he's doing, when he's interviewing another Nigerian politician. You understand? So the level of dishonesty and the bias is unbelievable, and a lot of people playing it in this game. And yeah, I think Nigeria is. That's what I said the other time. Nigeria need to close their border until Nigeria seal their entire border. In the northern Nigerian region, they will not have peace because we know
All right, 30 seconds.
Okay, we know the Sahel is a hotbed for terrorism, and we know, for example, a lot of these countries, the foreign entities, they have a great interest in Nigeria. You must be a real traitor to think otherwise. That these foreign entities do not have their interest in there, and also we know for a fact, the corruption is the number one killer in Nigeria. I'll pass the mic for now, Dinus. Thank you.
All right, guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. All right, Charles, you're next in Tarka.
All right, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. Can you guys please like and subscribe? Like and subscribe. You see, Nigerians' problem is a thing of it's a problem of the government, the culture, and the mentality. I always tell the people back there, I said, until you travel out of Nigeria and out of Africa and see how the world works, you will know that these people are cheating you. How can you go on international television and just disgrace yourself? And they kept on coming in fact and you kept on lying, obviously. To tell you how finished Nigeria is, I always said this, I said 2027 is the last chance for Nigeria to reclaim its glory. After 2027, I don't know what that country might, God forbid, might turn into Afghanistan. But I don't want it to happen. Because the way the things are going, look at the Naira. Naira that was once, people don't know this, but Naira was as even powerful than the US dollar. Sorry for saying that. But Naira was powerful than US dollar. In the 1970s, what happened?
Sorry for saying that.
I'm trying, if you're US, and I don't want people to be offended. But
No,
sorry for
I'm saying,
saying
but why are you saying sorry? Because the fact is the fact. It's the Jamaican dollar was one time as equal to the pound.
Tarka, let him finish. And then you're next.
Facts, though, bro.
Go, Charles.
So even this IMF that's calling Africa broken and wretched, once upon a time, it was Nigeria who gave IMF money. So that's what I'm saying. The Nigerian people, they don't know their history. They don't know their culture. They say if you know who you are, you can achieve anything. They don't know their history. They just think that they were just some broken, poverty-stricken country. No, Nigeria had more money. But the problem was mismanagement, leadership problem. And you see this present government, their party has been in power for like what? Close to 8 to 12 years. No improvement. Every sector is finishing. Every sector is going. And that's why I said 2027 is now or never for Nigeria. And now somebody called Peter Obi. Personally, I don't like him. Number one. Number two, I don't think he's ready to lead Nigeria. I need someone who's more about the youth. Because the youth, if Nigerians' youth, population is too massive. So I need someone who's more about the youth. Obi is a snake. Obi will say one thing and do another thing. I've been monitoring the Nigerian political space, and the only person that caught my attention is this man, Omoyele Sowore. This man has been fighting for Nigeria ever since he was in uni, and now he's old, and he's even running for president. So I've been monitoring him. I've been looking at his background. He has the cleanest background. But the problem is, for you to win an election in Nigeria, you need to do something bad. And he doesn't want to compromise his quality. He ran for 2019. He did not win. He ran for 2023. He did not win. And he wants to run for this one. And I'm urging Nigerians, vote for someone who's more about the youth, not who's more about themselves. Because the way I'm seeing the country, I'm sorry to say, the country might turn into a war-torn country. That's how bad it is. Because how can you have a public speaker go online and lie to the public, lie to everybody that nothing happened? And he was so comfortable sitting down. That's how bad it is. Imagine them using the money for development for political party, and some of these useless celebrities are supporting them. Useless celebrity, they will support them. What do you mean by City Boys movement? What does that mean? City Boy movement, what does that mean? As I said, 2027 is now or never. Now or never for the Nigerian people. Even if you live in diaspora, just know that even if you're Nigerian and you live in diaspora, just know it will affect you. It will affect you. Now or never, because Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, and South Africa, these are countries that should be standing up for the black race. They should be standing up for their Caribbean brothers who have been, but they cannot even stand by themselves. They cannot stand by themselves. That's how bad it is. I always tell Nigerians and Africans, I say, look at how Black Americans fought for their civil rights. They had it worse than us. We didn't have the, we were not subjugated. They were not subjugated to slavery for almost 400 years, and the people were not living with oppressors. They had it worse, and they fought and they fought. You cannot be fight. You cannot fight someone and you give up that easily. No, they say good things take time. I'm urging them. It's now or never, because I'm afraid of that country future. If the right leadership don't come in, I am so afraid of that country future. Thank you. Oh, like and subscribe.
All right, go ahead, Tarka.
Yeah. Well, this is so much. Dennis, on the Christmas bombing in 2024, you said no one was killed? That's what you said?
I didn't say that. No.
Somebody in the panel said no one was killed. They were just fighting through robbers. A lot of people was killed. It was mostly Muslim. That was because that was the Muslim village, right? But what I want to say, this interview, I saw him in a bunch of interview before, right? I wish he would grill everybody like how he grilled that dude, but he don't, right? Um, the main problem is, to me, government is part of it, and the people is another part of it. Both the North and the South and the Southeast, they're all part of it, right? Because the Igbo, the people that I come from, right? Anything that have to do with Israel coming atrocities is a problem. Is a problem with them. They don't want to be blame Israel for nothing at all, right? Nothing at all. Why? Because they're too busy in the Bible Belt with the crack of Jesus, and that's all they care about, right? So nothing about Israel could go wrong for them. If people on this panel, in the chat, around the world will recognize that Burkina Faso and the AES, they're on the right path. But even they are a problem. If you talk about them, people on this panel, people in the chat, people all over the place, they find a problem with them, so they can't do no fucking wrong. You see what I'm saying? If black people is doing something and it's good, black people find a goddamn problem with it. You see what I'm saying? So if Nigeria, right? If Nigeria want to get from underneath the foot of this shit that's pressing them down, you see what I'm saying? They have to, within themselves, solve the problem and don't invite outsiders like Trump and his goons, right? Don't invite them because they are part of it. All these fucking precise missiles that the US have, and they dropping shit in cornfields. Really? They didn't kill one terrorist. Not one. Why? Because they're working with them. It's their people. And Tinubu is their people. And that's a puppet they choose to put there. Right? I don't know why people can't understand this. Tinubu is part of the entire equation that they use there. You see what I'm saying? And that's the goddamn problem. People have to realize that. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, go ahead, Willie.
I mean, man, like that was not a good interview, like in any shape or form. And that's going out to the international world because You know, I don't know. I'm assuming he was a Brit or he might have been Indian. He looked like Mr. Bean. Like, so I couldn't tell what he was, but he's not an African, right? He's not a Black American, right? So looking at this and thinking about a lot of the panels that I've listened to right here from people on the continent who have a lot of different views, what I was captivated by was the audience, man. Like you could see it in the eyes and the reaction of the audience when certain things were said, right? So now if I'm looking at Nigeria from that standpoint and what they sent as a representation, you got to realize like the international world isn't going to be very favorable. Everything about that looked like the corruption we hear about so much, right? Like, I mean, he was kind of just blatantly lying. Like, it's either the numbers are going up or they're going down. So if the numbers of deaths from, you know, kidnapping and whatnot going up, like y'all aren't doing the job. And so I would just say, you know, when it comes to the West getting involved, like even when you said, you know, the Christians were supporting that, the reality is in this global world we live in, you've got to deal with most of those, like both elements in most conflicts, right? So it kind of goes outside of, you know, just the religion, right? Because I know in Iran, there's Iranian people that aren't terrorists, right? And that aren't a part of the current regime that's being criticized, right? So people aren't even going to deal with it from that aspect. It's just like, figure it out. And I'll land here. Like, you know, as a Black American, with a lot of the criticism that we do get, the one thing that you can't deny or take from us, even when you're looking at politics, something specific like that, like we are fairly unified. Like there really isn't, the tribalism is Black conservatives, right? Like FB, that's the tribalism. But if you look at how we vote, how we move, like what is important to us, it is a level of unity that for as hard as we've had it, that has been the base of all the success we had. And that's the last thing I saw in that conversation. And when I think about the panels, like there is absolutely no cohesion. You know what I'm saying? So salute to the AES. I do like groups that are creating cohesion. Like even I can't leave out the Congo and Niger. They're taking risks as well. You know, so salute to those that are getting past the tribalism, right? And getting to the cohesion. But I'll completely stop here. Nigeria with that representative does look like the cancer that everyone comes on this panel and talks about from someone looking from afar who does care, a Pan-African. And I'll leave it there.
All right, go ahead, M. Repeat yourself, M.
Thank you, sir. I want to react to the video of Tinubu getting interviewed by some Arab, Middle Eastern, South Asian.
It wasn't Tinubu. It was just a spokesperson.
Oh, that wasn't Tinubu. Well, I would say this. I respect whoever that person was because obviously the host was gaslighting them. It was like a public lynching. It was like an ambush. And his counter arguments as far as America's murder rate, a bigger country. You could look at Nigeria. You got 250 million people if you scatter out the diaspora to the people. So it's equivalent argument that you're looking at 10,000 people got killed in Nigeria for whatever reason. It could be disputes between the North and the South. But in America, he said, what about the killing murder rate in America? When he talked about the poverty rate or the wages, he said in Europe and the UK got the same problem. Why are you nitpicking? Why are you just focusing on negativity and you're not even mentioning nothing positive? It's as though they just disrespected the whole entire Nigerian people by disrespecting that representative. Yeah, I assumed it was Tinubu, but I don't know how the guy looked. But I was insulted by them talking to him like that. A head of state that represents hundreds of millions of people. And when you look at the ratio of the people that you say got killed compared to 250 million people, that's a small percentage. And also, when you talk about the North and the South, I guess the Muslims in the North, it took America a whole entire civil war with hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people to die just to bring unity. So if you really want that unity, it's going to take a lot more people to die or it could be a diplomatic solution, or it could be two different states. But I think he deserved more respect than that, whoever that person was. But he didn't react to it the way they expected. They probably assumed he was going to get angry, belligerent, argumentative. But he showed a lot of poise. He showed a lot of class. Also, when they had the two reporters, they should have had one person that was pro Tinubu and one person that was anti. It should have been everybody just against him at a constant barrage of negativity. Like the lady said, "Oh, 10-1. And then she talked about how when I guess Tinubu threatened to invade Niger, and they separated from the ECOWAS. I did a little due diligence about ECOWAS, so I could talk a little bit about it. And she talked about how and the other guy talked about it's an industry of trafficking, human trafficking, and they
Dude
somehow
from the
make
Financial Times.
yeah. It's
I
the
like
two
him.
the two people that actually that he asked about the lady that stood up and the other guy that stood up, and he could have responded. The biggest scandal right now in the world is Epstein, human trafficking. Whatever type of dealings in America is like what hundreds of thousands of women missing, white slavery. When you talk about the
But you
things you
gotta
saying that's
understand,
negative
bro.
here,
Real quick, you gotta understand, homies from the Financial Times. Like this is the cream of the crop in terms of global publications. So he's trained not to get
that was
off
a gut.
course. Like, nah, I'm
That
talking about you. What's going on in Nigeria? Like, I get
but
Epstein, but
that guy was really negative. It wasn't balanced. It's as though he wanted to make him look like a fool. He was trying to trigger a response, like an angry
Absolutely
response, so
right.
it could be. It seemed like he was nitpicking at him, but the guy was so poised and so calm. He just hit him. The shoulder roll on him.
You got 30.
You
You
know
got
what I'm
30.
saying?
You got 30 seconds.
But as far as the human trafficking aspect, globally, white slavery in America, trafficking, fentanyl trafficking, he could have easily just deflected that. But I think those things he was focusing on is more of a global humanitarian issue that nobody kind of solved. But you expect Nigeria to be the solver of all the world's problems that you can't even solve. But pretty much that's about it.
All right, go ahead,
just
Passport King.
Nigeria's problem.
Go ahead, Passport King. Unmute yourself, Passport King. Passport King, go ahead.
Yes, I just unmuted. Good evening, gentlemen. Well, that's quite the enlightening video. There's so much to unpack. I'll say this much.
Be diplomatic, Passport. Be diplomatic.
I'm being diplomatic. I'm also going to speak facts. What I find interesting, let me approach it from this angle. Something I learned about late last year, a couple of months ago, there's a lot of React channels from different countries, the African continent, and all they do is talk about Black Americans, what they wouldn't call it FBA, ADOS, freemen, Black American plane, and look, hey, they're getting it back. Nothing against it, but then, and not all of Nigeria, but a lot of from Nigeria. And when I watched that video that Dynas showed, I'm thinking you got all of that going on in your country, and y'all make videos multiple times a week talking about what's going on with Black Americans. I think that right there shows the fractured, disassociative mindset that goes on with
1 in 3
the Nigerian people. Yes, and thank you, Wall Street Will. The one in, let's say it was wrong. Let's say it was not 1 in 3 people. Let's say it was 1 in 4. Even 1 in 5 people know someone kidnapped. That's still insanely high. That's a very destabilized country. And yet when Nigerians manage to, by hook or crook, they make it over to Europe, usually the UK or some other country, or they come to their number one choice, the United States. They put on these airs like they all coming from Wakanda, and the Black Americans that made it possible for them to come to the United States is somehow beneath them, and this is what's going on in your homeland. Oh, and let's not forget the roving blackouts. Come on now. And I'm going to land my plane there because, like I said, it's, and that's just scratching the surface, but I'm going to land my plane there.
Hey, unmute yourself, CJ. Go ahead, CJ.
Good.
We can't hear you, CJ.
Gentlemen? Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
What's up, Dynas?
Peace.
Good evening, gentlemen. Yeah, actually, I have a link just to with what Daniel Dwala was saying. He oh, I have to copy it on the clipboard. Hold on. But basically, there was a video that showed all the statements that he did make, and showing like him actually making the statements that the interviewer was, talking about. And he literally said exactly those words verbatim on video over the years about Tinubu and about Nigeria as far as the insecurity. And of course, him denying it is not really shocking, because it's gone to the point where politicians, especially those that are the political elite, because not all politicians are like that, but the ones, especially now, the ones that's coming out of the APC political sphere, they know that they can lie to the masses because they rigged the elections anyway. And whoever is in power, there's people that are going to go online that they pay on different platforms to support and back up these guys. This Daniel Dwala guy was a guy that spoke against Tinubu. Tinubu actually started paying him. Now he speaks for him, and now he's APC. He's down for Tinubu, and he denies all these statements that he made before. And the issue with Nigerians is that Nigerians, they like to focus on the highlight reel of Nigeria as far as showing certain aspects of nightlife and certain people that are rich and have money, or Afro beats. But Nigeria has the lowest life expectancy on the planet. It is right now, I believe, like in the top 5 of the most dangerous countries on the planet. And I think the other 4 might even be like an active war. So at some point, when you look at nation building, if you want to actually put elements of a nation and you want it to fail, you create Nigeria. You have a lot of division, religiously and ethnically, to the point where even a revolution is not even possible. Because the reason why a revolution won't be possible, because a revolution can always easily be tagged as ethnic, depending on who would end up taking power. And it's very easy to twist a revolution too. So if you look at even the coup that Tinubu was, that was planned against him, it was all northern military officials. Now, they were not going to do it for the sake of bettering the country. It was more of a power grab to remove him out of power, so that way they can do as they please, which they've already been doing as far as the northern military members who are in cahoots with the terrorists, the jihadists. I mean, they literally put what they call repentant Boko Haram members in the Nigerian military. This is documented. So when people talk about insecurity, and these Nigerians even go and say, oh, the government's not doing anything about it, a lot of these Nigerians don't even want to admit that they know that Boko Haram members are in the military. So you're expecting them to fight each other? I don't get it. And even recently, they even had the new Nigerian military is asking for more people from the southeastern region to join. You can
I saw that. Yeah.
And the thing about it is that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. Because the thing about it is, when you look at the distrust among different ethnic groups, there's no way you're going to see a large amount of people from that region in the military. You could forget about that. In fact, let me tell you this.
You're from that region?
Oh, yeah. My parents is from Imo State. And I know for a fact, that if any Igbo person that's in the military dies, we don't even mourn him. Because the thing about it is, you're joining a military that is basically a Sokoto Caliphate outfit.
But what about for money?
Huh?
Do you think those people would join for money?
They would rather hustle 6 days, 7 days a week than to basically be basically sent to Bornu.
Yeah,
where they will be put in the crossfire of jihadists on purpose.
Yeah, salute to them. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to ask.
I got CJ. I got to pass it. CJ, well, you got 30 seconds, CJ. I got to pass it to Jagu. Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, so when it comes to insecurity, I mean, the thing about it is, I'm going to finish this with this point. Somebody brought up Sowore. That guy's a Ford Foundation. He's a CIA plant. He's actually funded by the Ford Foundation. David Hendayan, who's a journalist from Nigeria, who exposed that whole thing. So even to say you want Sowore to come in, he's a CIA, outfit. I mean,
well, CJ, you do have a point. His what's his Sahara Reporters? This is it is funded by by some Western.
Now let's break the whole thing down.
Well, hold on, great man. It's not your turn yet. Go ahead.
No, David okay. I'm gonna say this. Just look up David Hendayan. He breaks it up. He breaks it down. He has all the evidence. He was part of Africa Stream. They shut down the Africa Stream because it was exposing a lot of the new neo-colonialism. And David Hendayan has his own, YouTube page. He breaks it down. He broke down. He was the one who exposed Tinubu and him being a drug, being involved in drug dealing in Chicago.
All right, hey guys, let me pass the job. Go ahead, Jago.
But Don, let me ask you a question first. When you're in Nigeria, when you go to Nigeria several times, how much danger do you feel that you're in? Because there's a lot of propaganda bullshit.
Like I've said on the show, I don't go north of Abuja. Like when I'm in the southwest, I feel great. I don't feel endangered at all. But that's the southwest.
I mean, the last time I was in Nigeria was in 2021. I didn't feel unsafe except for when you get to military checkpoints.
We can hear you. We can hear you correctly.
Let me come in and take my turn, please.
Go ahead, Jago.
Thank you very much. Good evening, gentlemen. It's very interesting. I liked what the last speaker had to say. He's well informed. You see, Nigeria is in
You're on
hell.
the hot seat, Jagoon. Peace, bro.
Thank you.
What's up, Jagoon?
Hey, everybody. Good evening again. Nigeria is a hell of a country. It's a hell of a place, and it's in a very disastrous position. Given our 60 years history of so much growth, potential growth, and then really when you look at it, the growth doesn't mean much. The education doesn't mean much. The wealth under the ground doesn't mean much because the people, unfortunately, have been bamboozled and they continue to bamboozle themselves. There's a lot wrong with Nigeria, and there's a lot wrong with Nigerians, and there's nobody else that can say it better than a Nigerian. There are a lot of people who will point a finger at Nigeria badly, but Nigeria as a country is still, comparatively in Africa, it still has.
Correctly, we are not hearing you.
Wait, my brother, wait. You just be quiet. Listen, I'll listen to you when it's your turn. Now, the fact of the matter is, Nigeria, with all its prowess, has not lived up to its name. At the same time, there are a lot of people who point the finger at Nigeria and blame it. And I can understand the emotion in blaming Nigeria, but it always tells me that these people don't understand what Nigeria is and what it's gone through and how it built itself up. The different ethnicities that are in Nigeria, most of them are very strong, especially the big three. They're very strong. And when I say the big three, they are being manipulated themselves. The South is being manipulated by the West, and the North is being manipulated by the Middle East in terms of culture, religion, and kind of institutions, if you like. Now, when you have this, somebody like Bwala, I've heard people mentioning Mehdi Hassan as being one-sided or something. It means when you say something like that, it means that you don't know who he was being interviewed, who he was interviewing. Daniel Bwala is a bastard. It's as simple as that. He's a bastard. And most Nigerian politicians are bastards. What it is that they have no ideology. They just looking for their own personal engagement. And that's the whole of the Nigerian politicians. It's very difficult to look at one and say, yes, this person is quite different than everybody else. We all had hopes on Obi during the 2023 election. But today, when you look back at how he has performed as a politician and creating any level of opposition to the rank horror that goes on from APC's party for the past 10 years, then you have to look upon him as a non-player. He's the balance of any kind of democracy. So given that, I'm of this mindset. Nigeria doesn't need 2027 election. Nigerians, in order to take their power back, they need to cancel that election. Nobody should go to the polls. If you want your power back, nobody's going to do it apart from you as the populace. You are not going to get any politician who would behave in a way that is any different than we've had for the past 60 years of Nigeria. We're not going to get anything different. Anyone believing that we are, you're a fucking idiot. It's very simple. You are a crass idiot. And it's people like you who want to follow are the problem of Nigeria. Because if you stand up for a minute and have a look at your country, have a look that we have poured out of that country over the last 20 years too greatly. It's too much. Too many people have left home. Too many people have left home and are doing all kinds of things all over the world, but none of them is happy. And there may be a percentage of them that, they're successful, but you're not happy that you're out of your country. Nigeria's a country that we love as Nigerians. We love the place. If you're
I got a
home,
question though.
especially if you're in the village, you are a happy individual. The thing is, however, Nigerian politicians have not made that place livable. It's one of the most difficult places to live in.
But
Me
how
and
could
Dennis
one
had
of
an
three
argument. Me and
people
Dennis
be
had an
happy?
argument a couple way there. Me and Dennis had an argument some time ago. I was telling Dennis that Nigeria is the poorest country in the world. It's there. Now, Dennis, because of
Haiti is
his
the poorest country in the world.
well, you look at it again, homeboy.
That's just a
Dinus,
fact.
with his pro Niger kind of tip, I understood where it was coming from, but you are flat wrong. Nigeria is a ridiculous country that has the quality of the uranium, the quality of our oil, the quality of our gold is like second to none. But we are the poorest country in the world. I mean, this is an oxymoron. And I'm happy that we're discussing this because I think all of us in the diaspora and Nigerians themselves, we need to have a real understanding of what that country is. And it is extremely confusing. But what we should realize is that what's happening with Iran right now, Nigeria is in the queue. Nigeria is in the queue. And if we don't, I mean, it might be already too late, but if we don't want foreign nationals with boots on the ground in our
It's too
country,
late.
it's too late. I hear you, man. I hear you. Nigeria's it's a horrible
Because
disgrace.
the main
Hold on,
portion
Willie.
of
Hold
the
on, Willie.
government.
Hold on, Willie. Dragoon, Nigeria is not the poorest country in the world. It's not.
Okay, we can argue about that, but it's been over the last 2 years, Nigeria has been the poorest country in the world, whether you like it or not.
Give,
You understand?
Let me come in here. I think you've
Dragoon, just
said
do
a
me a
lot.
favor. Hold on, Dragoon.
You've
Just do
said
me
a
a
lot.
favor.
Let me come in here. Let me come in here.
Why should you come in? Is it your turn?
It's not your turn yet. Dragoon, just do me a favor. Post your sources in the chat.
No worries. I'll look at it because it's not that difficult to find. I will do that for you.
Because it's not. It's not.
Well, you said it's not, and you can say it's not as much as you want. You can do
It's
that as much
not.
as you want, as long as it
30
gladdens your heart.
Nigeria is
Say it's
the
not reality.
Like that
capital.
dynasty.
England is about to become the poorest country in the world.
Nigeria is the capital poverty of the world. Does not mean it's the poorest country. Capital poverty means this is the country where you have the most poorest people. But it does not mean that the country is the poorest. Differentiate. This is the country where you have the most poorest people, but doesn't mean the country is the poorest.
I agree with what you said. I agree with what you said. But what you have to understand, is when you have that kind of oxymoron, then you have to look at it. Then you have to understand that it is by purpose. It has been manufactured to be the poorest country in the world, and that is a deep statement. The politicians have put it in that state, which means that the country itself is not working. And that's a country with more prowess than any country in Europe, for
So
example.
you are for foreign boots on the ground to change.
No, I'm not for that at all. I'm for people taking their power
All right,
back.
then, can I come in now?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Brother.
All right, thank you. Now, the truth about Nigeria is this. Nigeria is an awful place. Nigeria is one of the worst places in the world you can live in. Get that straight. Don't let the social media deceive you. Now, don't let the social media deceive you. Don't let whatever they put out there, they are dancing, the video music. No, that is not true. The place is awful. The place is garbage. The place is nonsense. The
Make your
truth is,
point. Say what it is.
I
my
disagree.
point is
But
this.
go ahead. I disagree. But go ahead.
Bullshit, but make your point.
I'm coming. My point is this. The people live on hope. The people of Nigeria live on hope, like they always hope for tomorrow because of Christianity. Christianity has helped the people not to start revolution. Christianity has helped the people to be calm. The people have lived on hope, hoping that one day things will change. God will help. That has been the only surviving faith, has been the only surviving anchor of the people. Apart from that, the places was the president is a briber. He bribes the American. Just look at this. Last month, President Tinubu gave $9 million to an American media to change the image of Nigeria, that there is no kidnapping happening in the country, whereby there were kidnapping going on. The president paid an American media and they took the money in the United States
And
just
that's a waste of $9 million.
Everybody does it.
That's a waste.
Everybody does it.
I'm coming to push a false narrative. That is evil. The president himself bribes on everything. He bribes his way to presidency. He bribes his way to remain there. He bribes every man. Now, the Nigerian people who tweet, I was hearing about somebody they're talking about Black America. They say so much about other countries. They can speak even about their country. No Nigerian.
We're starting to see that.
No Nigerian.
He should run for president here in America.
Yeah, no Nigerian living in Nigeria dare speak about his country. He will be killed. He will be killed the next day.
Look, bro, in America,
Willie, let him talk. Willie, no, go ahead, great man.
Now, I dare anybody living in Nigeria to go on the social media and begin to show the things happening in Nigeria. I mean, real things. Like, apart from the guy, very dark man. Now, go do it. You'll be killed the next day. They are all scared. They are afraid.
They do arrest you.
What they do, they tweet about other countries. They do videos about other countries in disbelief on their own. Like their own is a mess. They're afraid to speak about it because the president will send somebody to kill them. The governors will send somebody to take them out. They will be humiliated. In fact, when Donald Trump spoke and said they are killing Christians in Nigeria, that was a liberation. But all of a sudden, we saw Donald Trump himself took a bribe. Because the next thing we saw is that
Trump don't need no bribe, man. Shut up, bro.
No, I'm coming. The next thing
Trump don't need no bribe.
No,
he's a billionaire.
Let him finish.
He can take. That's a free money coming. The next thing we saw is that Donald Trump was praising Tinubu's wife. Donald Trump was praising Tinubu's wife, and I'm like, damn, Donald Trump took the goddamn money. Because he did not do anything again concerning the terrorists in Nigeria. He said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Now, guess what? The bomb that Donald Trump threw to Nigeria on Christmas Day landed in the forest. He didn't kill any goddamn, terrorist. They threw the bomb that landed in the desert of Nigeria. It didn't do anything. The next thing we saw is that Donald Trump was praising the wife of Tinubu. The goddamn money.
No. You see, my brother, your anger. Wait, let me just quickly say this. I'm going to quickly say this. My man's anger is based on the weakness. Oh, man. I'll say just 2 seconds.
Hold on. Jagoon, you got 30 seconds. I got to pass it to V. Go ahead. You got 30
All right,
seconds.
very good. All I want to say to my man who just spoke was that you're just speaking about the natural desperation that Nigerians are in. Why do you want Trump to come and help anything? That's an idiotic position to find yourself, I'm afraid. The position that you're supposed to be in is where you are galvanizing the strength of the people of that country who are responsible for the state that it's in, whether or not they like it. Not begging for America to come and help you. Stupid.
Yeah, but American came by themselves anyway. Nobody asked them
it's
to
people
come.
like you that beg them to come. It's people like you that put it in their face.
But
Look,
if you
I
say
saw the whole
you want,
protest.
I will beg them to
you
come.
went and lobby.
If you
You went
say
and
you are
lobby Trump.
coming,
You went and
if
lobby
you say
Trump.
you are coming, do it.
You people
I didn't
beg them,
beg you
man.
to come.
Stop it.
The people were in misery
I
already.
agree.
Now
I agree with you,
If you
Jargon.
say you are coming, do the goddamn
we get
job,
this.
Donald Trump.
Nah,
You
man.
didn't do
Nah,
it.
man.
You
What
didn't
the?
give him the
Shut
right
up.
because he's a
Shut
free
up.
man.
Let me pass the mic to V.
Guess
Go
what?
ahead,
Trump
V.
is busy
Donald
getting his
Trump's
ass
daughter.
kicked right now.
Go ahead,
Guess
V.
what? Donald Trump's daughter lives in Nigeria. She's married to a Nigerian. She's
Hello.
Donald
Oh,
Trump.
no. Okay. Oh
Hello.
my. Go
Hello.
ahead, V. Go ahead, V.
Yeah,
Passport is crazy.
yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello, Diners.
Passport.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. I mean, regarding the issue of Nigeria, it's like yeah, the problem that Nigeria is facing because Nigeria is a bigger country, bigger population, and also big land mass. That's why so many seem so out as it is. But the problem is all over, particularly in West Africa. The problem Nigeria is facing is all over in West Africa, maybe in a smaller scheme of things than what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria, regarding the gentleman that was interviewed, I didn't know anything about him, but I saw the interview and then you also play some clips of it. And I heard somebody was saying that, he was taken there to be embarrassed. No, if he was wise, he should have researched the guy that was going to interview him, because that is the style that guy uses. He does it to everybody. He would do his research and he would come at you. So obviously, the guy who went there, whether he thought he was he didn't do his research,
He didn't
or
do it to everybody, man. I watch him all the time.
Nah,
yeah, he
that's
does
what
it
he
to
Doesn't matter
does.
if he
everyone. He
didn't do
does
his
it. Please,
research. The
can I
guy was a
finish? Yeah,
liar.
you throw me
Wala's a
off.
liar. That's what it comes down
He's
to.
from the same school of Pierce Morgan. That's what he
Oh,
does.
I
But
watch
can
him
I
all the
the
can I
time.
answer's
I want
wrong.
God.
Wala's a liar.
Let V finish. Go ahead, V.
Can I, I mean, all his interviews I've seen, he does it in the same style. All the interviews I've seen him done. So I don't know what maybe you've seen something else and I
You ever
haven't.
seen him debate a
No,
Jewish
I
dude?
don't
You ever seen him?
I'm not here to discuss him. Let me just talk about, because before I lose my thread.
Well, come with
Anyway,
your facts.
Charker, let her finish.
okay. You have yours, I have mine. So let's leave it there. As I'm saying, that guy, looking at the interview, whether he was disingenuous, the person that was answering the questions, or he thought he was going to have it easy. But either way, it didn't work out for him. It was very embarrassing. And I've subsequently found out that he actually is on Nigerian television a lot. So obviously he knows about interviews. So let's leave him there. But what I was going to say about Nigeria is a big country, big population, big land mass, and also very rich in resources. Nigeria is not poor. Nigeria is badly governed, just like all the African countries, particularly in West Africa. Nigeria is not poor by no means any. And the problem why you're seeing the level of poverty is you have a situation of 230 million, they say, or 250. And even some reports, say about 4 or 5 years ago, were saying that about 40%, 38 to 40% of the population of Nigeria are living under extreme difficulty to extreme poverty. That's where Nigeria is. If you look at the statistics also, the whole of last year, the amount of people that were born in Nigeria were more than the people that were born in the whole of Europe to put together. That's another problem. You are breathing, but you're not preparing or planning for the children that you're breathing. That is what Nigeria is doing. The rich are looking after themselves and the poor have been left to themselves.
Corruption. Go ahead. Corruption, massive corruption. Go on.
Let me finish and you can speak, please. Because regarding the population issue, I mean, years ago, say about 20 years ago, you find that places like Egypt and Ethiopia were on the same par of population growth as Nigeria. Somehow, within these 20 years gone through, Egypt have stabilized their population. Ethiopia has done the same, but Nigerians has not done anything. Their population growth, it is said that a few years ago, they said that, Nigerian population, at the current rate they're going, they could reach about 500 million. And now they brought it down to 450 million. They brought it down to 450 million.
The more black people, the merrier.
Well, look after them then. Find the resources to take care of them. Nobody's stopping you from breathing. When
But
China,
now,
can I finish, please? Don't talk about, oh, we should breathe and breathe and breathe and not think about
China need more
looking at
people
them.
right now. China
we'll come
need
to
more
that,
people
brother.
right now.
We'll come
Listen,
back to that, bro.
China is saying to
doesn't
have
matter.
more people.
China took over half of their population out of poverty. Let me see an African country do that, and I'll be very glad with you all going off and breathing. I don't have any issue with that. You should
Me
not
as a
breathe.
black American,
You
it's
should not breathe.
crazy to hear African
You should
cultures
not.
talk
You should not
about
breathe
going
and
hard on
expect.
immigration.
You should not
Crazy.
breathe and expect somebody else to be taking care of your responsibilities. That's one thing, okay? That is why, as black people, and particularly black men, are not being respected. So bear that in mind, okay? It's no question of you breathing is the problem. The question of taking care of them. China took half of their population out of poverty, okay? So whatever problem they're having now, I'm sure they will resolve themselves. But what are we doing? We're just breathing, and the problem is just expanding, and it's not helping, and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so let us get our house in order before we talk about, oh, the black people are attacking us. But nobody in Africa is, I mean, I'm just looking at West Africa alone. West Africa has everything on that land, that part of Africa, to thrive as people, to build. You know what is going on? Nobody
Except for
talks
a middle
about that.
class.
Nobody talks about that. It's
It
like,
has
when we
everything
have there,
except for a middle class.
It start with the AES. It start with the AES.
we fought the colonialists, and then we defeated
Yeah,
them.
you don't want to
And
talk
all
about
we've
that.
done is we have implanted our own black people who the massive colonial mindset sitting on ruling those countries. And that's where the problem is. So it's no problem of blaming everybody. You can blame. You two have to start putting your house in order. And that's all I'll say for now, Dennis. Thank you.
Oh, I want to ask Great Man a question. Hey, I want to ask Great Man. Great Man. I'm asking Great Man. Great Man. I'm asking you a question. Hey, Great Man, tell us about Trump's daughter who's married. Who's married to
Hey, yo,
Nigeria.
chill out, Diamond.
I want to know this. Go ahead, tell us, Great Man.
That's a good one.
It's true, Dennis. It's true.
Okay, well, I want to know more. Let him talk.
Yeah, I'll give it to you now. Trump, I think the third daughter of Donald Trump is married to a Nigerian Lebanese. There's this guy who is a Nigerian.
Oh, the Lebanese guy. So not a Nigerian. It's Lebanese.
Yeah, no, his father is a Nigerian. The mother is Lebanese. He grew up in Lagos, and so he works in the oil sector. He's married to Donald Trump's daughter, and so the daughter is giving Donald Trump first-hand information of what's happening in Lagos. They live in Lagos.
You know what? Hey, he's right. He's right.
We talking about Ivanka?
Yeah, he's
Dennis, how
talking
do you
about
not know that though?
Tiffany Trump. He's
Dennis,
talking about Tiffany.
how do you not know that? Come on.
I did not know that. But
I'm surprised.
This dude is definitely there ain't no way he got any black in him though. But go ahead.
Yeah. So she gives back first-hand information of what's happening in Nigeria. So President Tinubu knows that Donald Trump lives in Nigeria, and so they checked for her and looked for her. They got in contact with the dad, not official discussion. So somehow the whole thing about Nigeria, we're gonna kill the what's it called, the kidnappers, the Boko Harams, the whole thing died. We're surprised, Donald Trump. Why? I mean, you came up like the Messiah. All of a sudden, there's massive corruption in Nigeria. The president is corrupt. The vice president is corrupt. The governors are corrupt. Down to the citizens have learned corruption. It's something that has swinging to the system. It can't be evils is a problem. Corruption. Go ahead.
Where do you live? Where do you live? England?
No, I live in Europe. But I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian.
Yeah.
I've been going there my life. I know.
But if I can interject, so he's not Nigerian. He's Lebanese. He was born in Lebanon.
Yeah.
They moved to Nigeria.
They're one of the colonizers.
He grew up in Nigeria.
He's not
Nigerian. His father's Nigerian?
No.
Yeah, I'll give you his full details. Give me a.
He's born. His father.
He's Lebanese. Stop trying to make him like he's Lebanese.
His father was born in Lebanon. So yeah, he's not Nigerian. They're not Nigerian.
But he works in the oil sector. He has a lot of money. He works in the oil sector.
But also, a lot of people concentrate, they focus on the president in Nigeria. But Nigeria is a federal state. They never talk about their governors. These governors will go and take money. And what do they do with the money? A lot of the state that you have in security is a responsibility of the governor. But then they always like to put the direct blame to the president. I mean, it's a little bit, far
No,
fetched to
man.
me,
No,
man.
it's not. It's not.
Does
It's
the
not simple. It's not
president,
simple like that. What it is,
Okay,
what it is,
help me.
what it
Okay.
is.
president
If I can
handpick the
say,
governors? The
Yeah,
my
okay,
friend,
president
Jago.
friend who
handpick
wants to
the
talk,
governors.
my friend, what it is that to be in Nigeria in politics and not be
Right.
part of the cabal, so to speak, it means that you are
Okay.
isolated. And to work by yourself to turn a country around is the most difficult position to find yourself in if you're a
Okay.
governor or if you're a politician. The
Okay.
only way that you can fight a revolution in Nigeria is to be outside of that system. That's the only way. You can't be in the system. It will swallow you up. It will just swallow
Well,
you
how
up.
are you
Yeah.
going to fight outside? How are you going to fight outside?
What do you mean? How are you going to fight outside?
How you gonna fight outside?
Explain it to me.
Simple
You
argument.
said
How do
fight
you change
No,
the
outside.
look,
How do you
government
do that?
without being
I've
involved?
just spent a whole minute talking about a revolution, and the only revolution that we can have is for the people to take their
Well, you got
power
to
back.
be there though. Well, you have to
Wait,
be
wait,
there, Jargon.
wait! Calm down, man. Fucking hell!
I'm
What it is?
asking. I'm asking a question.
Are you gonna type down on my neck like we're fighting physically? We're not fighting
No,
physically.
no,
Make your
I'm not even
point,
saying
Well,
that.
just be
Well,
Jagoon.
you have
quiet.
to
I heard
fight
what you said.
inside.
He
Be
asked a
quiet.
valid
I heard what you
question.
said. I heard what you said. Now, if you're a Nigerian and you're in Nigeria and you can begin to galvanize the people mentally not to enter into a new election, that is number one. If the people come together and they don't, that would put a shock into the system of the Nigerian
Yeah, but
elite.
that will
Then
not
wait,
happen.
you're
That
still
will
not
not
listening.
happen.
You're still not listening. All
That's
you want
working
to do
from
is
the
attack.
outside,
Just be
Jagoon.
quiet. Just be quiet until I finish. Now, what I'm trying to put to you people who are so aggressively unfamiliar with common conversation is that if you've done something like that, that is a major move by the people that says no
That
more.
will not happen. Let's be realistic. They're already working on 2027 election. What you are saying
You
is
think, you
impossible.
think, you
Discuss
see,
reality, man. Be
okay,
serious for once.
okay, now be quiet. You said it. Be quiet
And
now.
Jagoon, that's the point. That's where
Yeah,
working
but you're
in the
repeating the same
system
thing.
is
It's
important.
impossible. You're saying
Yeah,
Look,
something
my
that
nobody
is
friend,
said
wrong.
that. The work
it
system's
may,
out.
it may be impossible. It may be impossible in your mind, but can you can you find in your head that we would have 2027 and anything will change? Be
Listen,
honest to
Nothing will
yourself.
change. President
Eh,
Tinubu will
so what's
win.
the point?
We
So what's
can
the
talk.
point of 20?
We can
So
talk
what is
about
the
Jago,
point?
an election in the future, but
Jago,
not
the
now.
one thing,
You're an
one thing
idiot,
I
I'm
think,
We're
afraid.
already
yeah,
preparing for
okay,
2027. We're in
You're an
2020.
great
idiot.
man.
It's not
Great
possible.
man. One thing where I agree with Jagun is one thing people can do. You already have America right on the neck right now. Okay, you already have few military guys in the land. Okay, you have the American system behind you. So what you guys can do is to take the advantage of that situation and make sure you have a free and fair election in the country. By making sure you don't give this
That
current
wouldn't
evil
benefit
government.
them.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you this.
yeah, no,
Let me tell you
yeah,
this real
They
quick, yeah.
probably
yeah, go on.
wouldn't win.
Yeah.
If they had a fair election, they probably
Rigging
wouldn't
is
win.
now being put
Yes.
into law, which is
Right.
that
Wow.
the beavers system and the
Yeah.
system of
You dig
voting
what I'm
where you
saying?
get the direct vote each time updated, that has now been cancelled. So when you know that
Right.
they've done that, the politicians have done that. You know that it's going to be it's legal now to rig. It's legal. Rigging is going to go on set
Right.
speed. No difference, my brother. None.
but
Just
Jagoon,
going,
Right.
who's
you
saying
know the
not?
sad part for me, I'm gonna keep it short, right? Like I
Mm.
understand how America deals with countries internationally and how yesterday's price wasn't today's price, right? Like who we're working with today, we may completely sell them out tomorrow. And I think with America's interest against a country that has Islamic influence, right? And definitely has Islamic influence in Nigeria, right? The current administration can kind of easily get flipped, right? So what worked for them before won't necessarily work for them in 2027. But it's all
Yeah,
about
I mean
how much they're
that's
willing to
another
sell out.
point. But if, as Jagon said to you, if the system that you have there is all controlled by those people, how are you gonna flip that out? That's the question. And also,
America would let that out.
Right now Nigeria don't have an opposition. Okay, it's almost like a one-party state.
Y'all are
Yeah,
underestimating
that's right.
how ignorant Nigerians are. I don't listen. I got to say something. I'm sorry. To say that you're going to you need to convince 200 something million Nigerians, or let's say 75 million adults, 100 million adults, to not vote, they're not going to listen because they're not even as knowledgeable about Nigeria as you
God
are.
bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Americans don't even vote independent.
Listen, Americans are watching. Listen, Americans are watching lobbyists buy out their politicians, and they still go vote. And Nigeria and Americans are much more knowledgeable about the political process than the average Nigerian.
Most Americans don't vote.
I don't vote in the U.S. because I already know.
Right. So what are you talking? Most Americans don't vote.
That's bought and paid for. So, but the average Nigerian believes that their vote counts. They don't. They will say it's rigging when their person loses. When their person wins, it's not rigging.
So that we have some facts with us. The last vote, 2023.
Let him finish.
No, I just giving you this fact. 2023 was the lowest turnout.
Each other. He's not done. Let him finish.
No, let me finish my point. When Tinubu won, if you went on social media, his followers were celebrating. They're still rocking with him. They don't believe he stole the election. They believe he won it fair and square. The people that supported Peter Obi, they believe that it was rigged. The same thing will happen in 2027 if there is an election, if there's not a all-out civil war chaos, a multi-level battle royale type situation, which that could happen because with the way the things is going on in the Middle East, the way that things is going on with the energy crisis that could be coming up, remember that Nigeria has to import its fuel. Nigeria don't make its own refined gasoline.
Stop playing. Stop lying. What are you talking about? They don't refine their own gasoline?
They do.
What are you talking about?
The Dangote refineries they do now. Before they were not doing that, but now they're doing it.
Before they were importing petrol.
One refinery cannot fuel 200 million Nigerians.
It's now.
With Dangote, they're buying Venezuelan oil. They're buying Russian
the Dangote
oil.
refinery is doing it now in Lagos.
That's helping.
Dangote is doing that in Lagos.
Yeah, Dangote is helping, but before Nigeria was
still importing
petrol,
oil.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let me pass the mic. I gotta pass the mic to anti-moral. Go ahead, anti-moralist. Unmute yourself, anti-moralist. Anti-moralist, unmute yourself. Going once, going twice. Go ahead, Pastor. Well, go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make my quick closing thoughts. And
what I wanted to say before.
Hold on, Pat. Hold on, great man. Hold on. Go ahead, Pastor.
Thank you, sir. I'm just gonna make my quick closing thoughts. I'm gonna be the bad guy. Here's the solution. That's the elephant in the room. Nigeria being a part of the British Commonwealth, whatever emotional benefits that y'all been getting for when one of the British royals pops in every couple of years and y'all, throw your flowers and put them up on that, what you call those things, those ride carriers with his shoulder, that ain't working. The only way Nigeria is getting fixed, and I'm not joking what I'm about to say right now, I'm being dead serious. You're going to have to be recolonized. And it's going to happen. You just better hope it's a friendly Western nation versus China. Because for all the complaints you have about the U.S., and then look, I'm a FBA, I'm a patriot.
Bro, you going to talk about recolonize? Go fuck yourself. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Hold on, let me finish my thought. I know the dirt of my country, so I don't act like the United States is spotless. Us SBAs know, but let me tell you, y'all be better off colonized by the USA than the Chinese.
Man, go fuck yourself.
Hold on,
I'm not accepting that. No.
Hold on.
No, talk. Let him finish, please. Thank you.
You think the USA is bad? You let the Chinese colonize y'all, and y'all will know what real suffering is. Y'all have no idea.
No, but they caught
what country they colonize? What country they colonize? Man, y'all some stupid bitches.
I gotta pass the mic. Nigeria belongs to fullback. Go ahead and meet yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody, how y'all doing?
Oh
I changed
Lord.
my name. Yeah, usually I'm Bank, but
I
you
know
know,
who
how to
that
come up with
is.
the rawness. How to come up with the rawness, man. Nigeria does belong to Fube.
Oh, don't
Fube
start, man.
is
I got a
the
headache today, bro. Please,
yes.
not
Yes,
today.
no,
Not
no, no,
today, please.
I got to, man. I got
That
to.
No,
might be
Because you
see
know,
brother
I know these
Cook.
people, man.
not
They
today,
come up
not
here,
today, man,
See
and
please.
brother
code it.
Cook.
They disguise it very well. Hold on, my brother, man. Hold on, my boy. They disguise it very, 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 very well. Okay, now let's look at it, right? You know, a couple months ago, right? You had lobbyists in America, right? They came from the Southeasterners. These are the same people lobby heavily to the Western government for them to come and invade Nigeria. These are the same people now. When you
That's
look
a
at the
fact.
when you look at when they said, oh, Christian being on the live, right, within Congress, right, when those two Africans, or those three Africans, right, they were wearing an Igbo hat. They come from a Southeasterner. These are the same people. At the same time now they're coming up here and saying, "Oh, Tinubu was paid. That's why America's not doing nothing." Currently, as we speak, right, the military base is in Nigeria. So you got what you wanted. And then you still complaining. You coming up here and saying, "Oh,
The
like
military base
Nigeria's
has
corrupt."
always been there, God damn it. The military base has always been there.
Let me
Nigeria
speak.
is a sovereign nation.
Let me speak, man.
The
Nigeria
military
belongs to
base, don't
Oh,
say
Fube.
that. The
great man.
military base has always
Hey,
been
hey,
there.
let him talk.
No,
Let him talk.
let him speak. Bro.
Nigeria belongs to Fube because you know why? Everything happened that's bad, y'all blame us. Y'all blame us. Y'all don't blame y'all governors. Y'all don't blame y'all senators. Y'all don't blame
Because
y'all
America
so-called
makes the most from
SJs. Y'all don't
Nigeria.
blame none of these people. Y'all don't blame none
America
of these people,
makes the
right?
most from Nigeria.
In your state, as we
Not
America
speak
our
makes
again.
the
fault.
most from
No,
Nigeria.
stop
Yeah.
it,
Let me
mate. Just
finish. Let
wait,
me
man.
finish.
Just
Let me
wait.
finish, my brother, man. In your
But
state
bang,
right now,
please,
as we
I
speak.
don't like this divisive
No,
conversation,
he
bro.
has
I'm
to.
not
He
really
has to.
happy with it.
These people don't care about Nigeria. They want Nigeria to be in chaos. They don't want doing all these things behind closed
All
doors.
right,
They
leave
want
my
Nigeria
Yoruba
to be in
brothers out
chaos.
there, yeah?
These
Leave my
so-called
Yoruba brothers
Hold on,
out
IPOB.
let him
today,
These
please.
finish because
so-called
he's right.
IPOB. Okay. These so-called IPOB. When they come up here, they try to disguise it. Ijele is an Igbo man. I saw the link, right? There's a link right there, right? He's an Igbo man that is against IPOB.
Every week,
That is against
Fulani
exposing what they
there's
doing.
videos of Fulani killing
Exposing what they doing.
Nigerians all over
Exposing what
every
they
week.
doing. If you don't believe me,
Verified.
go to TikTok. Go to TikTok right
This
now.
guy,
Ijele speaks.
your brothers are
Ijele
on
speaks.
TikTok
Hold on.
showing that they're terrorists. Your brothers are on
CJ,
TikTok.
you said
You
Let him
know this
finish,
is
you said
CJ.
true.
Nigeria belongs to
CJ, let him
Fulanis.
finish.
I am giving you the right now because whenever you speak, you blame the Fulanis. Whenever you speak, you blame the Fulanis. In your state, in your 5 states, 95% of the people are Igbos. 95%.
Why must Bang always bring tribe into this? For God's
Because you
sake,
are for
talked
it.
people
about
have
Because
stopped
Bang
Nigerians
does
listening
as a,
to you.
acknowledge
I
Bang
talked
because
Fulani
about
you guys
genocide.
Nigerians as
disguise
a
it.
nobody.
collective.
You
He brought
guys
up Fulani.
disguise it.
Hold on, let Bang
The president
finish.
said Yoruba.
Okay,
The president said
It's
Yoruba.
bang,
pathetic.
please,
You know, this guy
please,
Hold
I'm
on.
begging you,
pathetic.
do not
Can
Let
mention
him
I
tribe
give
again,
you my
please.
time,
finish.
No
please?
more tribe, no more tribe
No.
mentioning.
I
God,
forgot.
guys.
No, no.
It's
Hold
pathetic,
on,
Bang.
I forgot
bang.
We
You
about.
have
got
to
bang.
move
You got 30
beyond
seconds. I
tribe.
gotta pack.
We have to
Hold on, V.
move
Bang. You got
beyond
30
tribe
seconds.
now.
V, hold on,
Africa
V.
is becoming pathetic because of all this.
God. Hold on. Bang. You got 30 seconds. I gotta pass the anti-moralist. Go ahead, Bang.
Okay. These people always complaining, oh, Nigeria is because of Fulani. Nigeria is because of Fulani. You can't even go to your 5 states. You can't even go to those. You can't even go to your villages.
I was just
If
there
you
a
don't
few
believe
years
me,
ago.
go to
My
Ijele
cousin got
speaks, man.
married this
If you
Let
don't
past
him
believe me,
December.
go
finish.
there.
He got
Go
30
there right
seconds.
now. He shows you these people. It is done by your own people, your own IPOB, your own terrorist people, are the ones unaliving your own people, and then you come up here
Yikes.
and then you want Nigeria to be in disaster. Let it be in disaster. But I know for sure the Fube will handle you again. Just like we did 30 or 40 years ago. I guarantee you, I don't care.
Hey, yo,
Because
chill
Nigerians
out,
like you
Bang.
are pitiful. Nigerians like you are pitiful. Fube will destroy your people again. Just like Sokoto in prison for life. Exactly. Your so-called supreme leader.
You
Exactly.
see,
Your
he's a
so-called
Fulani
But
Messiah.
extremist.
Bang,
You
you in
don't see
Exactly.
that?
DC, you
She's a
know.
jihadist.
Hold
The
on.
guy's a jihadist. He's
Oh,
off. It's off
Bang,
limits.
so I'm a
stop this,
jihadist.
man.
I'm a jihadist.
Hold
Your
on. But Bang,
so-called leader, right? That's in prison.
Dude,
All alive his own people.
Sheikh
In
Gumi is your
thousands.
uncle. Sheikh
but
In
Gumi is your
thousands,
Bang,
uncle,
huh?
you
bro.
know.
Oh my God.
You're in
You have not
DC,
condemned
Bang.
Sheikh
You
Gumi
know
one
what's
Nigeria belongs
pending
time.
to
on
Fube.
what side.
Nigeria belongs to
I
Fube.
gotta pass the mic. Anti-moralist. Go ahead.
Amen.
Okay, so I gotta talk about like when it comes to Nigeria, man. So we know the problem is corruption, but I think the problem with talk about corruption is that we're talking about it in terms of like stealing money, but let's talk about how it rewards bad behaviors, and that's really the problem with Nigeria. I know I know actually quite a lot of Nigerians, and I look at Nigeria in like Western countries like America. They when it comes to statistics alone, they are mostly highly educated groups in the United States. Okay, 67%, I think, last time I checked, Nigerians have a bachelor degrees, so they don't have a problem with succeeding. But the one thing goes back: why don't they succeed in their own? I think that was the original question: why can't they succeed in their own? Now, I can go and talk about colonialism and neocolonialism, but I'm going to talk about like corruption in exact. When it comes to corruption, oftentimes like I always call Nigeria like it's like India without the nukes. That's how I look at it. There's too many ethnic tribes and they're not really united under a common language. That's the first thing. But when it comes to corruption specifically, let's say you want to get a job. If you want to get a job in Nigeria, for example, you might need to know somebody first, more than anything. You focus more than actually building connections than actually actually working on your actual skills. And it comes to another example, it's like public infrastructure, public projects. So if a government wants to build a road or like a health system, for example, the contract should go to the best person for that, for the best road, for the best price, or the best person who can build a system. But in a corrupt system like Nigeria, for example, it would go to somebody who knows
Who has the
the
connection?
governor, for example, things like that. And therefore, they will inflate the price when it comes to these projects, and therefore it will cost too much, and then the government might borrow money or might increase the price in some other way because the inflation. I look at, for example, recently, and this is a recent example. Burkina Faso recently tried to build, I think, about 5,000 kilometers of road. In Kenya, they built about the same amount, I think less, and it cost them more, but it cost them less in Burkina Faso. They showcased a better system there. Now I don't have the details right now, but I can send you videos if you want. But my point is that it showcases at the end of the day, it's not only good leadership, but it's good systems. And then fortunately for Nigeria is that they have a lot more bad systems that are not really coordinating among each other. Now, I'm pretty much a boring person, like when it comes to these things. I always talk about why do countries succeed? Like look at China, look at America, look at all these countries. Some countries have succeeded because of their history, colonialism, but some countries more recently, like China, the reason they're able to succeed is because one, nobody is above this state. Some people don't call them a democracy, and they call themselves a democracy. So I'm not going to say they're not a democracy or they are a democracy. What I am going to say, though, is simply this. If you are an intellectual or an engineer or the political class, there's always these classes that exist in each country before tribes alone. And these countries, each one of them can either be controlled by the state or they roam freely. In America, they roam more freely, but they also contradict each other. But
Still
in
controlled
China,
by the state.
the state controls everything, and the state has intellectuals, and those intellectuals, they do succeed there, but they have a rule. As long as the state controls and says this is the goal, you can succeed as an intellectual. That's why they're able to coordinate far better, and they're a lot more innovative right now. Now with Nigeria, I say it's like India because India, if you look at America, they are very successful. Nigerians, they're successful to the same degree. You see Nigerians engineers. There's a entire Nigerian oil company here in Houston. Houston is like the oil capital of the world, Texas in general. But the Nigerians businesses, Nigerian doctors, engineers, they exist. My own school, okay? I study with a lot of Nigerians. So when you look at all these systems, all these people are able to succeed because when they're in their own country, if you made it out, you're already filtering the most risk-taking people already are going to be in your country. And then their systems here in this country are so superior for Nigeria that because they're so superior,
It's easy
most
to
people are
adapt
just
to.
going to succeed. It's not even a fair competition. So you're getting the best Nigerians here and you're getting the worst Nigerians staying there or not doing anything at all. And that's one of the things. So when Nigeria moves into places like these institutions are what makes them succeed far more. Universities, hospitals, engineering for tech companies. This is why I always look at it like I know smart Nigerians. I know mostly people I know are smart Nigerians,
right?
But they don't have tribalism most of the time. They may identify, but their tribalism, one, they're educated. Okay, when you have what these people are bachelor's degrees. I'm in a master's program.
They may
Okay,
be a part of the Navy.
engineering.
I'm
So
with you.
the people here, to put it simply, if you let's say that South Africans and Nigerians have a lot of tension, some of those tensions are really about migration patterns more than anything. When Nigerians move abroad, the best ones go to the successful countries, and they go to South Africa. Oftentimes, are not the best Nigerians you're going to meet. That goes back to the same thing about how corruption is designed. The way they reward corruption in Nigeria is simply put: if you know somebody, you will succeed. If you don't know somebody, then you might not succeed. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Of course, I don't want to take too much time, but I can go more detail if you want.
Yeah, I need to ask a question, Adonis. So this is a question. This is a question for any Nigerian on the panel. Anybody can answer it. If I'm going to invest in Nigeria, would you recommend it? Would you recommend me investing in Nigeria? Is Nigeria an investable country? Who wants to answer that? Nigeria.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll answer it.
Are you a Nigerian?
You're not Nigerian. You're just talkative.
I said
Hold on.
No,
Bang, I said a Nigerian.
Hold on.
Bang, stop, man.
Let a Nigerian.
Do you want to know why?
No, I don't want to know why. Bang. You're not a Nigerian.
Hold on.
I want a Nigerian to answer it.
I'm here.
I'm here for you. Yeah,
I'm here for you.
Go on,
Jagoon. Go ahead and answer, Jagoon.
Thank you. Look. When it comes to business, that's my world. It really depends on what it is you're investing in. As a small investor, I wouldn't ask you to go to Nigeria to invest small. If you're a large investor and you're coming with conglomerates and nations behind you, I would say enter. I would say that because it is on Nigeria is played on a big scale. It should be and can be played on a small scale, but not with the kind of lay of the land as it is now. The land is too shaky to start a small business if you're not Nigerian. But if you're coming in with a program, for instance, that would bring in heavy duty business within oil and gas, within aromatic, within any kind of manufacturing, I would suggest yes. Especially if you've got the money behind you, because people with money behind them, they can make anything work. More especially in a kind of topsy-turvy, corruptive society. But if you're an honest guy, like I believe you are, my brother, to come into Nigeria and start playing their crazy game, I wouldn't advise you. Thank you.
Now, Jacob, let me ask you a question, right?
Now, hold on, Bang.
Real quick to add to the other question. From America,
go ahead.
Right? If I'm never going to come to the continent and do anything there, but I'm looking around the world for opportunities, you do have 30 exchanges in Africa, right? I think the second largest is Nigeria, but the first largest and the most transparent is in South Africa, right? So would it be more beneficial if you're looking at the continent to just say, I'm going to go with South Africa where things are fairly regulated? Like
we're talking about Nigeria, bro.
No. What it is, my brother. You see, the kind of money that you can earn in terms of profit in Nigeria, there's no country in the world that can return you the level of profits Nigeria can. I've seen it. I've met it. I understand.
I'm glad you said that.
So wait. Real
having
quick,
said that, countries like South Africa, it's kind of pot luck whether or not you're going to be successful. It's not to say that there's competition, but there is an overriding white structure
So,
of
Jagoon,
financing.
I'm not cutting you off. I want to build on what you're saying, right? So, yes, the more risk you take, the more you're going to make. That's a part of the premium in terms of investing in Nigeria. The thing is, though, it could flip on the drop of a dime tomorrow. There could be some political unrest, right, that crushes the entire market. That's something that's understood for Western people investing in different markets. One of the reasons India is so attractive is because even though now it's overbought, right, you're not worried about instability. That's the one thing you're not worried about. You get what I'm saying? So in terms of
Yeah, but
looking at the continent. I'm
All
talking
right,
about that risk
Willie.
premium.
Let me.
Hold on, I'm
Okay,
gonna land right
Willie,
here.
you going off to India and all that, man? Come on now. We're talking about Nigeria,
yeah,
bro.
but yeah, but yeah, but
So
yeah, but yeah, but yeah,
I
but
was
yeah, but
trying to
40
bring it
minutes
back
ago,
though. Hold on,
40
real
minutes
quick,
ago,
and I'm gonna land here.
John Goose says Nigeria is the poorest country, right? So then
Yeah,
how
but when
can
it
you
comes to
tell somebody to
business,
come
it might be different, Bang. It might be different when it comes to
Leave
business.
Bang.
Because
Leave Bang with his rubbish. Who wants to hear his rubbish?
Hold on,
Complete
Bang.
I don't
rubbish.
man, rubbish, man.
Let me land real quick, Bang,
Your
Man,
because I
richest
know where
man,
you're
your
going.
richest
you
man
guys just
is a
took
fully
I
over.
know where
You
you're
guys
in
just
going,
took
right,
Nigeria.
over,
Bang?
Your richest man
That's
man.
a
is a
part of
felony
where I
man.
was landing.
yeah,
Hold on.
Respect
What
that.
I'm
yeah,
saying
Respect
is,
that.
when the question was asked,
yeah. But
was it
wait for
worth
Willie.
it to
Wait for Willie.
invest in? When the question was asked, was it worth it to invest in Nigeria? Right. Outside of Nigeria, I'm looking at the whole continent and how Nigeria compares against other places, right, on the continent. So one of the big things about stability, the only reason I brought up India to the point where bro said, why are you even bringing that into it? I'm saying, as an international investor, one thing they provide is stability. So if I'm looking at the continent where I'm going to get a premium for the risk, right? Yeah, you probably will make more investing in a Nigerian
The
company because
question
there's
though,
more risk
Okay,
there,
what are you
but
bro.
it could
exactly
flip
Jesus
investing in? It's
Christ.
overnight.
not important to know that though.
Man,
For
it's
example,
really,
Um,
man.
man,
It's
if you
really,
start getting
Willie, you
Willie,
got,
can
you
I
got to let
finish up?
Nigerian talk, man. All right,
Let,
Willie.
I
Just
landed
don't
if
invest in
y'all heard
Nigeria,
me.
Willie. Just
okay,
don't.
Willie, we
I
got
was
it. We
done.
got it.
Willie, go to South Africa. Go
Jagoon,
to South Africa. We got past that.
Jagoon, Jagoon.
No, I'm
Let me
saying
finish
I'm
up,
keeping
Jagoon.
my American dollars in America, but I'm
Okay,
investing
good. Keep it there. Good.
outside of
For
where I
example,
am.
it take me 30
I'm
Good.
seconds.
investing
It take me 30 seconds.
outside
I got
my
a quick.
country.
I got a
All
quick
right, go ahead.
Let me finish my. I didn't finish my what I
Go
was
ahead,
saying.
Tucker. Go ahead.
All right, Jagoon. The reason why I asked that question and I asked it like that, I actually know the answer already, but I wanted to see what a Nigerian would say. All right.
Okay.
When I do my investigation, and I do thorough investigation, there's 800,000 Indians living in Nigeria. There's about 200, probably about a million foreigners, right? And I'm not talking about other African countries' foreigners, right?
Mm-hmm.
I investigated the type of business they have, and they have all types, from very small business to very large business. They have Indians, Chinese in the market with a shop, a basic shop,
Let me tell you
right?
about them. Let me
No,
tell you
well,
about
let me
them
tell
real
you,
quick. No,
but
I know.
no,
I know
you
where you're
said
going,
I
brother.
asked you if I could. I asked you if I could invest in there. You said no. Just come in with some big business and that's it. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is there are people there now,
Can I
right?
explain? Let me explain for you, sir.
It's
What
the
it
same
is.
thing going on in my country, bro. That's why I'm saying it's the same
Just
thing going
wait.
on in Jamaica.
Okay, now just wait, please. You see, those countries that you mentioned, the Lebanese, the Indians, the Chinese, they they have a history in these countries from the 1910s, as far back as that, trading in Nigeria. And then secondly, they come not by themselves. They come as a conglomerate of people. So their network is large in a country like Nigeria. Their network is there. If you're coming networked, that's what I told you. I'm sure you heard me say this before. If when I'm going back to Nigeria next, I'm going with 1,000 strong people, and I know exactly who they are. And I'm going with that 1,000 strong people because I need a network that I can rely upon to make the kind of business that I want to make. If I'm going there as an individual, my brother, I'm going to find it very difficult. So you have to understand the answer I gave you. You have to understand. I gave you a real answer. If you're coming,
But there are people investing there. There are people, regular people are
you're
investing there.
arguing with your.
It's not
I'm
all conglomerate. There are
no, well,
individuals
I'm
going
not
there
arguing with you.
and they
There are
invest
people.
in there.
I'm not arguing. There are people there who have gone into Nigeria and they have all kinds of small business. A lot of foreigners, as you just mentioned. Me and you, who is black, yeah, we have to know what the ras we're doing, no matter where in the world we go, because we are penalized as black people, even in our own black countries. If you're forgetting that, that's up to you. But I'm telling you to remember that. So when you come in, when I was in Nigeria, I came in with hardcore business, and it was with the Japanese. They listened to me. I got to the president's office. That's how far I got before the thing crashed. But the thing did crash. And it's because so many people were looking at me and what I had in my hand, and they were looking to strip it from me. Nigeria's not an easy place. It's not an easy place at all. However, if you know what the Ras Clark you're doing, you can get somewhere. It doesn't matter what type of business.
You talking
All I
about the
will say to
Nigerian
you,
exchange group?
no, I'm not talking about the exchange. I'm talking about how business is done. And largely, business is done with the government, which is to say they're going to eat part of your business in order to let the lay of the land go straight for you.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you
they'll
saying the
frustrate the
truth.
Ras Clark hire. They'll
You saying the truth.
frustrate you.
You saying the
People
truth.
are
That's
investing
all.
in the place, and we are not, and that's what it is.
Well,
They
you're
do the
right.
same thing in
It's a
Jamaica. They
terrible
come to
thing.
Jamaica and they do the same thing
You
in Jamaica. Bro, do
you
you know how
I
much
gotta
Nigerian
agree
business
with
is
him.
in Jamaica? They have
Nigeria,
Nigerian business in
you
Jamaica and they're
can
doing
make
well.
you
Come
can make a
on.
lot of money in
So
Nigeria than you
so
make
real
in
quick,
anywhere in the
Dragoon.
world.
Yeah,
But
So what
like
the
exactly.
but
like
wait,
uh,
Dragoon.
Hey,
Dragoon, let
let
me
me
yeah,
say
ask you
something.
what the
Let me
brother
say
just
something. Let me
said,
say something.
right?
Let me say
like the
Hold
something
on,
real
real
quick.
quick, Bang. Real quick,
Cook
Bang.
in the
Hold on. Let me
Pause
say
the
past
something.
every
thought.
time.
Real quick,
No,
Bang.
Yeah,
no, no, real
What
quick.
the
Really,
brother
come on,
I
come
what
was
on.
the
Let me say
brother
saying,
something real
just
quick.
said,
Just
right?
30
Like
seconds.
even in
Just 30
terms of
seconds.
the whole generator
Yeah,
culture.
let Brian say something
Hold
quick,
on.
quick, quick. Yeah,
Even
go
Yeah,
in
on.
Wall
terms
Go
Street,
on,
of the
Wall
Brian.
Street.
whole generator
Yeah,
culture
Wall Street.
in
What?
Go ahead,
Wall Street. Let me
go
say
ahead.
One
something real
second,
quick.
yeah.
Go ahead, Bang.
Hmm.
Let me say something real quick, right? Okay. From my view, for what I've understood how Nigeria operates. If you want to make money, it's either in Lagos over there in the southwest, or you come up in the north. Because you
Kano,
know why?
Abuja.
Because you know
Yeah.
why? Because you know why? The Igbos that are businessman people, 60% of their money comes from the north. Over there in Sokoto,
It
Kanui,
doesn't matter.
Zamfara, all these states. So just come to the north because you know why?
Nigeria is a big
The
business place.
so-called
Yeah, but
Listen,
that's
Igbos,
Nigeria
Nigeria.
the
is a
so-called
big business
Igbos, the
place. That's
so-called
the
Igbos
truth.
that have money,
Kano
they get
State
their money
and
from
Lagos.
60%
Lagos is
from
the
the
big
north.
economy, remember?
Nigeria
Yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
big
They
business
get their
place.
money
You
60%
can
from the
take
north.
that out.
So these useless IPOB members. Useless.
Ban. Okay, all
No,
right
God
now.
bless
But
you, Jelly.
We
God
got your
bless you,
point.
Jelly. No, 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 no. God
Can you
bless you,
hear me?
Jelly.
I
Can you
wanted to
hear me?
Yeah,
ask him.
God bless you, Jelly, man, for exposing
Yeah.
these useless people.
But you know what? Do you know? I know a brother that went to that sent some containers to Lagos recently. Okay, before basically the containers got bought out. Before even as soon as the containers got there, he sent about 5 containers. My man he sold everything out straight away. It didn't last there for like 3 months. Everything was done. It's a very fast, fluid place for
Yeah,
business.
he made
Just
a lot of money, right?
yeah. You make loads of money in Lagos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you make a
Lagos.
lot of money from Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the few places in the world where you can be broke
Yeah,
today and become a
right.
billionaire tomorrow. That's the truth. You
Oh
can
I
yeah,
give
oh
you
become
yeah,
that.
that.
absolutely, absolutely,
I
absolutely,
give you.
absolutely,
I give
absolutely.
you that.
You can get it.
So
You can
you
make it
guys
up.
are
You can
answering
make
my
it up.
question.
You can make it
This
up
is
in
beautiful.
the north and the
It's all
southwest.
that
Yeah.
gloom
Definitely
and
you
doom.
can, but you can't make it in the southeast. There's nothing there.
Oh God.
Dynast,
Ben, leave it.
Dynast,
Leave it.
Dynast,
No. Trust me, it's
Dynast.
Leave
not.
it.
That's exactly where I am. There's nothing
Dynast,
there.
you on the panel?
There's nothing there. Be quiet. Be quiet, man.
I gotta
You're
ask you a
IPOB.
question.
You're IPOB. Go eat human being.
Let me ask
Go eat
Dynast a
human being,
question.
man. Go eat human being, man. Go
Bang,
eat that
bang. Do you know
human
we
being.
have the bang? Do you know my mom's shop?
Your question. Go ahead, Taraka.
Okay, Dynast. I keep coming back to you because you travel to Nigeria and Africa a lot, right?
Right.
You see how the conversation that me and you talk about. You see how it changed when I ask question is Nigeria investable? You see people have positive things to say. You see how they just find some positive things to say. What I'm saying is the way people come out and speak about Africa and speak about Nigeria. It's just all doom and gloom. Look for the positive things in it and then bring that positive thing forward. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they don't have all this goddamn problem, but look
Yeah,
for the
I agree.
positive things in there and then bring it out. You see what I'm saying? In Jamaica, the Chinese, other Africans, Indians, they come down there and they invest. They get their little shop, their little this. Some of them have big business, some of them have small business, but they're doing well and they will never leave. They will never leave. You see what I'm saying? So don't always jump on Nigeria this, Nigeria that, Nigeria this, just bad, bad, bad. Everything bad, everything bad. You see what I'm saying? concentrate on some of the positive things also, and take those positive things and move forward with it.
Yeah, we
You
said
see what I'm
a
saying?
lot of positive things about Nigeria, but the problem is the bad is more than the good. That's the
Well,
truth.
good. Let the bad
The
stay bad.
bad,
No,
Let the
like
bad
I
stay
20,
don't.
the
bad,
good is like
right?
20%.
I don't
And
believe
move
that.
from there.
Bad is 80%.
And it's not true. No, you're wrong.
They don't have
You're
light.
wrong.
God damn it, what is not true?
You
They don't
are,
have
bro.
light. They don't have
Okay,
light
May
in
I?
their
they are
country.
generators. They got generators.
Goddamn
May I?
generators
May
and
I?
You see?
May I say? May I say
They
something, please?
use what they
Yeah.
have unlimited.
God damn it,
And
man.
let
They
me
May
don't
tell
I?
have
you
light.
something.
Because here's the
When it
thing,
comes to
though.
light, hold on a
The
second.
brother brought up the level of investment Nigerians are making in
Mm,
Nigeria, right? So when
mm,
you look
mm.
at something as simple as the whole generator culture, right? There's a reason why Kenya doesn't really have that problem, because they're willing to invest in their infrastructure. They're paying, right? Like, y'all know better than I would, but I do have some idea of how the uh Wi-Fi and electric bills are paid, right? Like, most people are getting state-sponsored Wi-Fi, right? They're not really paying for that. So at a certain point, you have to invest. You're only gonna get what you put in.
I was in the flight. I was in the flight a few years ago.
Get what I'm
My
saying, though,
flight.
bro? Or am I
I was in the.
crazy?
Yeah, I was in the flight a few years ago. My flight was about to take off for Europe. I was returning back to Europe, and then seated close to me was an Indian man. And so the flight was to go through Ethiopia, and then we were to transit from there in Addis Ababa. And the guy told me, he said, "Man, Nigeria is so great." I said, "You see, the only problem, if Nigeria can fix the light problem, Nigeria will be the greatest country in the
Can
world."
I jump
I
in?
said, "You're right. There is no electricity. The people using
Not the way
fuel.
you talk about it. Not
So
the
they
way you
don't
talk about
understand, though.
Nigeria.
But
Let
can
me
I
say
jump
something
in real
about
quick?
that. No, let me say something about what he said about the electricity. The only state in Nigeria that has 24/7 electricity is
Abba.
Abia State.
And that's the
Okay.
problem.
A couple of weeks ago when I was on the panel, or last month, I told
Right.
y'all brothers that my dad did textile business in Aba.
Right.
Okay, imported
Right.
textiles from the Carolinas to Nigeria
I
in
remember.
Aba, and he made enough money to put me and my 4 siblings through college and pay off his home.
Salute the big
So
homie.
and he built his home in his hometown, a mansion.
Right.
So
Okay. That's good.
so I'm saying that now, I'm getting attacked by this guy that's saying only money's made in the North and the Southwest. No, there's money made everywhere. Just that you have to know what the opportunity is. Now, as far as
Yeah.
infrastructure, Abia State in Nigeria, the Southeast, which
That's right.
this guy from
That's correct.
Bang is hating on, is the only state in Nigeria that has 24/7 electricity. The only one.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
are you
for
kidding
him
me?
to,
Are you
so
kidding me?
oh
CJ,
yes, the
CJ,
only
doesn't
state
make
in
are you
no
sure?
sense.
Nigeria. Yes. Oh
CJ,
yeah.
CJ,
Yeah.
are you sure?
You're
Are you sure? I'm not one of
oh,
these people,
am I
man.
sure?
I do my proper homework.
Do
I
your
do my proper
homework.
homework. 60%. Hold on. He come for me. He come for me because
Abba is the only
he
city.
knows
Abba's the
the
only city
Fulanis
that
are the
has
king of Nigeria.
24/7
Even he knows
electricity.
that. He said it.
This
Even
is
him said
this.
it. Now, look at. Hold on, my brother.
Bang, bang,
60%
bang.
of
Honestly.
Igbo. No, hold on. I am
No, see,
tribalist when it comes to
listen,
Nigeria. I do not care what nobody says.
you're not
I am
Nigerian. You've never
tribalist
even been
when
to
it comes to
Nigeria.
Nigeria. When
You've
you
never
say
been to
Fulani,
Nigeria.
you don't say
You've never
Fulani
been to
from
Nigeria.
Nigeria. You say
You've
Fulani
never
for
been
all
to
over
Nigeria.
Africa.
Hold on, I
You've
want to
Bang,
never
get
been
back
to
to that.
CJ, let me say.
Because I
Can I
thought he
Let
was
me tell
going
you
to
one
say
thing, right?
60% of the
In my
information.
community,
I was going to
in
say,
my
hold
community,
on, Bang.
one second, one second, bang,
Africa,
60%
Africa,
Igbo.
You've never been to Nigeria.
One second. I'm not
Alex
here to deal with
Oti,
this
the
guy,
governor
CJ.
of
I'm not here.
Abia, has
CJ,
created
Good,
CJ, what
24/7
CJ,
electricity, and you don't want it. You
what
don't like
CJ
that.
is,
You don't like that.
he's an IPOB.
No,
That's what
I'm
he
not.
is.
I'm
Is
not.
that what
He's
you're
an
here to
IPOB.
do?
Okay,
Now, hold
I
on.
want to
Bang.
get.
Okay,
Is that
listen.
what you're here to do?
CJ.
Are you here just to
I can't
accuse
even
people?
speak.
This is
I
why
can't
you
even
this
speak.
It's
yeah,
rubbish. As a
please.
human being,
I've
Good,
never
as a
been
Bang.
on
human
this
being,
panel.
you are full of
One
Yeah.
shit.
minute. One
Hold
minute.
on, let
Brother,
him
why are
get
you
back
even
to what he's
talking
going
to
to
him?
say.
I've never
I don't
been
even
on
know
this
why
One
panel
he's
minute.
allowed on the
as
show.
a
He's just a
supporter.
distractor.
You hear
Bang,
every
bang.
Idiot.
day.
Can I tell you
Complete
one
fucking
thing? Can I
idiot.
tell you one
You
thing?
hear
Yeah.
every day. I'm
Bang,
telling
What kind
you
of
bang,
this.
person is
bang.
Can I
this?
speak? I'm
I've
Can I?
telling
No,
you
you
this.
can't
Okay.
Yo,
speak.
never been
CJ,
on
I
here
Are
as
you
a
thought
sure?
Bang
Biafra
was going to
supporter,
say
bro.
60% of Nigeria has a certain level of electric.
He's got no clue.
He
He's got
said
no clue.
Igbo.
Just talking with his ridiculous
I'm
childish
listening.
Let me say
voice.
something. You see how
Picnic.
they cut me off, right?
I
They
don't
keep cutting me off,
like
right?
the
Hold on,
tribal.
let Bang finish.
Africa. Hold on. Africa, right? Okay. In Nigeria, right? Igbos, the ones that are business people, right? The ones that make millions of dollars, right? 60% of their money comes from the north. The
That's
rest
a
of the
lie.
money comes from the southwest.
Bring
That is
your
facts.
sources.
You don't see Eurobars
Bring
in
your
the southeast.
sources.
You don't see houses in the southeast. You don't
Diners,
see
tell them to
Fulanese in
bring
the
a source,
southeast.
please.
There's no money there. There's no money
Bring
there.
his,
That's why
tell
your
them to
people
bring his
flee.
90%
There's
of
no
us
money
here are from
there.
Nigeria anyway.
There's no
90%
money there.
of us here are
Hold on.
I get
Hey,
the point you
There's
make.
no.
Let me tell you one
All
thing
right,
about
Bang,
Let me tell you what.
Bang, calm down,
Please.
Bang, calm down,
Yeah,
Bang.
thank you. Let me just say one thing.
Okay,
Can I have
I
a word?
got you.
Because
I
I've
got
been
you.
into. Okay,
Make your
thank you.
point, Bang.
So, Ban, listen. Let me tell you one thing, right? In Nigeria, all these tribe, Igbo, Fulani, Hausa, Yoruba, these are all business people, man. They all got their own success in different ways. You can't take that from them, and that manifests. And also, you might hear all this tribalism that's still between them. But where you go when I go to London, when you see like this Nigerian guy, regardless of their tribe, these guys get on. It's only on social media. Don't get it too much into your head, thinking all of them
Well,
are tribalistic.
let me add to that.
You know,
Let me add to
yeah,
Let me add.
yeah, they all
Wait.
get on, bro.
Bang. Just wait. Bang. Just
Yeah,
wait a minute. Let me add to what
yeah,
you're saying so that we make some sense out of this. Nigeria has a history. It doesn't just appear that the way Bang is just pushing out tongue like he knows what he's talking about. The Southeast has been heavily underdeveloped. Like it's not like the rest of Nigeria. If you go there, you'll see that you're in a different country. However, those people who come from the southeast, because of their prowess, they have done what they possibly can in their area, and they've gone throughout Nigeria and the rest of the world and made their money. They've satisfied themselves. If you don't want to respect them, that's up to you. If you want to be an idiot, try to be fucking idiot.
But
Keep that, and be happy with it. But that's not how things are. It's not how things are. Child.
Please, one
Wait,
second.
Jagoon,
If
back
you
to the
understand,
point I was
listen.
making. Hold on.
If you understand,
Let me ask
Willie, 1
Jagoon a
second.
question real quick.
No, 1 second, guys. 1 second. No,
Chill, Bang.
wait for me. When I talk more,
Yo, Bang,
While
I
I
let
talk.
you rock when you told me chill the first time.
Africa. Wallahi,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
Jam, please, jam. Listen, man. I know these people. First of all, these people go around and say, hold on. They go around and say they been what's the word? Marginalized, right? Marginalized. How the hell your people been marginalized, but your business people flee southeasterners and come to the north and come to the southwest and make tremendous money. Make
That's
a
the
lot of
same
money.
thing about
In the
blacks in
southeasterners,
America. Hold on, Bang.
right?
Hold
The
on,
states.
Bang.
Let me finish.
Bang.
Let me
You're
finish.
in America.
10
You in
seconds.
DC. Hold on.
10 seconds.
You're just repeating yourself.
Hold on, Bang.
You're repeating yourself and you're not saying anything.
Bang, calm down, man.
Throw him out, man. Throw him out. He's a
You're in
disgrace.
DC, Bang. You know
Can I just say
there's
one
a
thing, please?
similar. Hold on, Bang. You know there's a similar situation in America where if you go to certain areas, certain markets, certain infrastructures, you're gonna make money. But that doesn't mean that the black people that can go do that aren't still
Exactly.
black people aren't still marginalized. But what I wanted to
Wall
ask
Street.
Jagoon, but hold on, what I wanted to
Dennis.
ask Jagoon,
You are
Yeah.
real
comparing it to
quick.
America. That's not how Nigeria works, man.
No,
You
that,
can't.
But hold on,
Dennis,
Bang. I know you get my point. But hold on, I want to
Dennis,
ask
you've been to the
Jagoon.
market in Dakar.
Willie,
Can
you
I
got
ask
30 seconds.
Jagoon one
Goon has a
question?
minute to respond in Africa, then we're
Thank
closing
you.
out. Right there, after that, I got past the elbow. Go ahead.
I could ask Jagoon a question.
You got 30 seconds.
Yeah, Jagoon. So what I'm saying is there a certain lack of investment back into those infrastructures? So when you talk about how the Southeast doesn't have that infrastructure, right? But these people go to the North and they make money, right? Are they bringing that money back and investing in their communities? How do you build the infrastructure?
Unfortunately, okay, it happens individually. It depends what individuals are doing. It's not easy. You know, when Nigeria
So is
began,
it impactful in your opinion?
where Nigeria began, the Igbos, people of the East, they were very, very together. As life gone on, as we had the war, they became more diasporal. They left the country in droves. They had to operate differently. In them operating differently, to act in the togetherness that they had has been very difficult for them.
I got
I'm
you.
not Igbo. I'm not an Igbo. I'm a Yoruba man. But I know that the struggles that they've been through. I know. Bang
Jagun,
doesn't
you're
know.
not
Bang doesn't know a
answering the
thing.
question, though.
Yeah,
You're not
and
answering the
about
question.
okay, thank you. That's the point. That was one of the point I was gonna
So,
make.
I'm the
what?
only.
Yeah,
I'm the only
Well, hold
Igbo
on,
on the panel.
God.
Let me
yeah,
say something for a minute.
Hold on.
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Well, you know
I'm
what?
not
Actually,
long-winded.
CJ's an Igbo, so
Let
CJ,
me.
you got a minute.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
respond.
Let me say something.
I
After
ain't get
this,
a minute.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll come after CJ. Then
Yeah.
thank you.
So like Jagun said, you see, here's the thing. After the Civil War, Igbos were stripped of any, wealth that was in Nigerian bank accounts and abandoned property. I'm one generation removed from that. So we were stripped down to 20 pounds in 1970 to rebuild back up from 20 pounds. And Nigeria, and so like Igbos have what's called the apprenticeship system. So to say that Igbos are not united, which I know Jagun is probably is not necessarily saying that, but Igbos are the only people that have an apprentice system where you actually train up somebody else, and this person doesn't have to be your blood. Right. And meaning that you and you can look up Igbo apprenticeship system, where you basically train up somebody to develop a skill in business, and then they would get their own business aside from you. And that's how Igbos were able to rebuild.
HBC.
I saw a video on that
over the last two
You're
generations.
right. That's fine.
Okay, so
okay. I mean,
to say that Igbos are not marginalized would be incorrect.
But now the question is that talented 10th bringing those funds back to the South?
Yeah,
that's what he just said. That's what he just said.
Man, let CJ. You got 45 seconds.
I'm gonna answer that question. Yeah, like I said, my dad was 18 years old in 1967 when the war happened. He came to the U.S., became a finance manager, and he basically left and started his own business in textiles and reinvested that money back into his home territory, and just like a lot of people did. And that's what they did. They rebuilt and they created businesses. My uncle, my dad's younger brother, was the one who was managing the warehouse while he was in the U.S. going back and forth. So multiple people got hired. It was at least 24 people alone that got hired from my old man's business in the 90s into the early 2000s before he retired. So yeah, I mean, there is and even amongst the diaspora, especially outside the U.S., it's not like other tribes don't get along, or as far as, even within Nigeria, like it's not as whatever, but politics and ignorance plays a large part into the ethnic religious tension within Nigeria. But those that are wise and understand the bigger picture, but there's just a large amount of ignorant people.
So real quick, here's what I'm hearing, right? A lot of it is disjointed.
I gotta pass the mic. Afro, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly what. Thank you, Dennis. Exactly what I was saying. And the I mean, the Igbos, they have business even in central Dakar. If you go to the market in Senegal, you see Igbo people live among fellow people in Senegal happily, peacefully. One of my mom tenants, who run the shop there for years, is an Igbo guy. People in the area was reluctant to rent the place to him. I'm actually one of the guys that be a guarantor to the guy. I mean, I live in the UK.
Africa, your family, they have markets in Plateau in
no, it's not.
In Dakar?
Not in the center, but I've been there. I've seen Igbo market, but we do have few shops in Senegal. Yes, they do bring clothes, and trainers to Senegal, and it's quite good money.
I know in Plateau, not too far from Independence Square, like the people from Guinea, they run like the fruit markets, like all the fruit.
That's right. That's right.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
Can I be next time?
Yeah. So that bang is not as bad as, because even me, when I was in this space before, I told all Igbo people hateful as and all these Yorubas, but it's not the case. If you hang around the Nigerian circle, you realize there's Fulani, Igbo, Yoruba. These guys get on very well. They actually work together. They don't have that animosity like what you see or hear on the internet. This is just, political season, and they just get hits up. And also at the moment, this religious tension and the killings that's going on in Nigeria, we got to understand that also people who point fingers and have, issues. Let's make sure we deal with these things sensitively as adults. I'm just asking you to do that. And also, yeah, if you have to defend your tribe, in terms of someone trying to say something that's wrong, there you can definitely counteract that. I appreciate that. But let's work together, because these are the reason why we are so divided. Because if, for the example, what CJ just said, yes, of course, Igbos have been politically been marginalized, and if you look at the Biafra War, you can see why they feel like the way they do towards other tribes. Let's be honest to ourselves as human beings. That's what I'm going to ask you, that Bang. Thank you very much, Dennis.
All right, go ahead, Elvis.
Pass it back.
Go ahead, Elvis.
All right, thank you, Dinus. Hello to the panel in the chat. Look, I mean, Igbos are one of the most industrial people in West Africa. They've overcome a lot, and one of the things I like about them is their fighting spirit, their refusal to be dominated by another group based on religion. You can't get an Igbo man to be, it's hard to find an Igbo man who is a Muslim, who's going to be dominated by Muslim in Nigeria. They stand up, they fight for themselves, they use their industrial, ideas to lift themselves out of poverty, and they're trying to, to build up their homelands. So when somebody say that Nigeria belongs to Fula, but then in that same breath you say that you can't find the Fulas in the southern part, especially in the southeast. How can something belong to you but you're absent? You're not there, you're not present there if it's a landmass. So the reality is the Igbos are just the people who fight against, people who want to oppress them, and they actively fight against it and they refuse to be oppressed, and they go into these people's land and do business and get money regardless of the pressure or the intimidation that they try to do to them. So when people come on here who've never been to Nigeria, they're not even a Nigerian Fulani, and they're trying to be, tribalistic and talking nonsense without even really understanding what's going on in the country, it just shows you their true color. The mask is off. They hit the Igbos. Every opportunity to get, they're going to attack Nigeria because they hate the Igbos, and even the Yorubas, they hate them. So for me, I say Igbos don't hate Fulanis because they're Fulanis, and they don't even hate them. It's just the terrorism, the religious domination that they have over the north and even some parts of Yoruba land, those who converted to Islam. The Igbos are not people who are going to sit back and let other people dominate them. And I respect that in them. And I think that's a good trait to have as an African. Nobody is going to lay down and let some tribe come and dominate you. You fight even if you're outnumbered, and you use your economic tools and your economic power to uplift yourself and empower your people. So shout out to the Igbos. Thank you, Dennis.
Africa. Me, you gotta talk,
Yes,
man.
yes,
Me, you gotta talk,
yes.
man.
Well,
Me,
no,
you gotta
hold
talk,
on,
man.
guy.
Africa.
Let
Me, you gotta
Willie
talk,
ask
man.
your question, and we're closing out. Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, because
Let Bang make a quick point. Sorry, Dennis. Let's give him a point.
Man,
Go ahead, Willie. Go ahead, Willie.
man,
Ask your
I'm not
question.
worried about stupid Elvis, man.
So the thing is, right, I always learn things from listening to you brothers that have that knowledge of what's going on the continent. And a lot of times I see a lot of similarities, right? So when the brother talks about, Igbo people coming from the southeast doing well in the north, my question is, are there any like unified groups that are invested in those southeast communities? Like when it comes to the black community, we get a lot of criticism, but a lot of people that go out into the white world and make money and bring resources back, they invest in things in the community.
The thing is, the Igbo territory in Nigeria is very small. I think they only got like 5 states, so I don't think it's big enough for people to go there, if that makes sense. And
But
also,
I'm not
Well,
getting
hold on.
into
Hold on. We have an Igbo in here. Let CJ speak.
Yeah, let me
yeah,
speak.
and also there are Igbo Muslims also. One of the
because
new ones that I
CJ
listen
was
to
the
as a
guy that
Muslim,
originally said it. So that
in
was more than
yeah.
Onisha, in
But I'm
Onisha, there's
sure
a
he would
fairly
understand my
large.
context isn't just Igbo. My context is the region.
Yeah, I mean,
Are there
yeah.
Yeah. There's first of all, there's Hausa communities in Igbo land. I mean, there even in my parents' village, there's a couple of Hausa families. In fact, when I went to go bury my father in 2021, one of the people that helped with digging up the burial site was a Hausa man that grew up in our village.
Right. See.
So CJ,
this
CJ, real
listen,
quick,
say so, and then
because I
also
want you to
there's
understand the
Yoruba
question,
community.
CJ.
Go ahead.
Is there anything that I will hear in the international conversation where someone says potentially Donald Trump will working with
Willie,
this group?
just ask the question because you get
That's
lost.
what I'm
You
asking.
go left and
I
right.
just
Just
asked
ask
it.
the
You cut
question,
me off. You
Willie.
cut me
Ask
off.
the question.
Once I got to the question mark, you cut me off.
Okay, ask the question.
What I was asking was, were there any institutions that from someone outside of Nigeria, when I hear that, I know, all right, these people are on the right side of the issue.
Of what issue?
The wealth disparity that I'm hearing between the North and the South, and I'm not breaking it down
Well,
to
there's no
tribalism.
what wealth disparity.
Yeah, it's complicated because I would say most groups in Nigeria, have some levels of poverty, and and it's even hard to kind of tell in different areas because even if you go to the north, it's not all Hausa. The Hausa is just the largest group. So if you go to different cities like Kaduna is very ethnically mixed because it was built during the time of the colonial period. Much like Abuja was recently built up as far as like a capital city. So if you go to places like Kaduna, it's like, multi-ethnic. I mean, there's other communities there that are. So when you go to places like Kaduna and you see people doing well, you might not know what ethnic group they are. They could be Bari, they could be, Nupe, they could be Yoruba, they could be Igbo. You don't know until you actually find out. And a lot of those places, you'll see people that either have something that they're bringing to that area that's making them money, so it's even hard to even see kind of what the poverty level is. It's just that I'll say this: in the north, there's a lot more children that are out of school and that are begging than in the south. That's just the reality,
So let me
Marjorie boys who stay on the road and beg for
from your
pennies.
accent.
Dennis, can I get
I
a
can tell
talking
from
time
your
before you end the
accent
show?
you know American history, right? So I'm saying, are there any like
Why we keep getting this guy talking,
NAACPs,
man?
Panthers, or
You talking
anything
about,
that
yeah.
when I
Willie,
hear
what are you
that, I
talking
should
about?
align myself?
Are you
Jesus
talking
Lord.
about specifically for Nigeria? Is there like a Nigerian black?
Specifically for Nigeria, something that would be black first, Pan-African that I should.
I mean, the original, when you go back to as far as Pan-Africanism, you're talking about Obafemi Awolowo and and Nnamdi Azikiwe, which were early politicians in Nigeria's history. They were Pan-Africanists. This is well documented, especially in Nnamdi Azikiwe. So
Zeke of Africa. Zeke of Africa.
I'm talking about
Pan-Africanism.
26 though.
Even Abiola, who got killed, he was
He
Pan-African.
studied in Freetown. He studied in Sierra Leone, Zeke. That's why he graduated.
So, I think Willie, I'll say this: a lot of Nigerians are Pan-Africanists, despite what people see as tribalism. So I'm gonna give you an example. If when the World Cup comes, Nigeria is not going to be in the World Cup, right? Nigerians will go out of their way to support whatever other black country is in the.
Hold on a second. I thought they made the World Cup.
Take care, Marita. I love my sis. Take care.
So yeah, I mean, if you're getting that, yeah, I mean, there's groups. I mean,
But my question was more for people who are trying to empower the Nigerian people. Like when you talk about the lack of infrastructure in the Southeast, like for instance, Black America. If you're concerned about Black Americans, why they don't get it totally right? Most of us have no issue with the NAACP, right?
NAACP is not a black organization.
See, and then here comes
it's not
Dinus with the anti-black rhetoric, right?
No, it's not, Willie. It's
Here
not.
comes
Joe's
Dinus with the
organization.
anti-black rhetoric. But my point is,
he's right.
It's not.
I'm
NAACP
saying
includes Hispanics, Asians.
Started by Jews.
Right. Yeah, it's not, Willie.
Yes, but this has been extremely beneficial for blacks in terms of pushing for certain civil rights legislation, like
I'll put it like this, Willie. Like the NSARS protest was what people would consider like a multi-ethnic Nigerian protest that probably could
That's what I'm
have
looking for.
snowballed into like a younger generation, Gen Z type of movement.
Right.
And I think there is an opportunity for that, for like the Gen Z generation of Nigerians to to look at themselves as more Nigerians than as ethnic groups. But poverty,
That's what I was looking for.
poverty makes people, look at their differences a lot more than when they're in prosperity. If you go to Singapore, is multi-ethnic. Singapore doesn't have the ethnic problems because one, the way it was built.
They've got 24-hour electric.
Yeah, the way it was built, and also they also don't have poverty. If they had poverty, I'm pretty sure some of those ethnic divisions may prop up because once people's stomachs start grumbling, then people start looking for somebody to blame.
Well, let me ask you.
All I got to say, I hope you, my brother Bang, make peace one day.
Can I say something? Man, can I say something? Because
Bang, you
I had some people that came in to insult me.
Yeah. And also, Jack, I apologize for anything I said wrong.
It was Elvis.
Backward and forward with you guys
specifically to
in the
insult
past,
me.
Jagon. And Elvis, okay? This is the month of Ramadan.
I have a question for CJ. No, because
I hope you forgive me, Jagon.
Because sometimes
I got a question for CJ too.
I
got a question for CJ.
And Elvis, if you can hear me, I apologize if I say anything wrong to you. But CJ and Bam, please, you need to sort it out, man, please.
Yes. Sometimes, right? There are certain things, right? You have to be an African to understand it. You have to. I'm sorry. You have to. For you to really
There's certain things that you have to be Nigerian to understand it. How about that?
Come here. I do not come here, right?
You only come here to make noise, bro. You got nothing to say, nothing of any intelligence. You're a waste of life.
Bang, just listen, just cool up with my man CJ, yeah, and that's it. Yeah, cool up.
CJ, no, I want to ask CJ a question.
Wait, I want to ask a question. I wanted to ask him a question. I just want to.
Okay, so we have two questions.
When it comes to Nigeria, you said it's mostly poverty, and that's what enhances these differences, right?
Today, I mean, there was not this level of poverty 70 years ago, even before independence. I mean,
right.
So I mean, a lot smaller population. But when you're talking about
CJ, would you say it's a war?
Wait, let him finish.
Okay, go ahead. Who was gonna say the question?
No, continue first, because I that's not a full question. Just continue first.
Yeah, just like in the U.S. As people start losing jobs, you got people that are pointing at people that are on visas, the immigrants took all the jobs. The H-1, the B1, the H-1 visas from the Indians taking all the tech jobs for Americans that are not even qualified to even, so people start pointing at different things,
Okay. I agree with that, but
blames the tensions, the ethnic and religious tensions.
No, I agree with that, but I think it's like, okay, for example, we have poverty also, for example, in Kenya, in Tanzania, and they have a lot of ethnic groups over there too. But like one of the things I think also maybe I'm putting too much, but I think language, what is like the national language in Nigeria that most people understand?
English.
But let me correct you on this, on the poverty thing. If you got men that are not working, they're easily able to be manipulated towards being involved in banditry, jihadism. These things kind of snowball into where they're easy for them to be recruited because they're idle. And idle mind is a devil's workshop. That's my old man used to tell me all the time.
But I understand. But the thing is, I think one of the things is the nation building aspect is actually having a national identity that is beyond like your own ethnic groups. And I think that's one thing else in Nigeria. It's like multiple nations, at least 3 nations that I can identify.
Right.
But it's not one. That's why I think what I'm trying to get here is that it's like, what is the Nigeria like made up? Because in Tanzania, for example, there's a lot of ethnic groups that you can point out major ethnic groups, but you really don't know there's not one dominating one over the other. And the mere fact that everybody kind of like from Arusha to Morogoro to Dar es Salaam, everybody understands it because there's one coherent language. And there's still poverty. Now I'm not saying it's the same situation as Nigeria, but I think a national identity, nation building, that like actually most people don't see themselves as one nation in Nigeria compared to other areas. There's people who genuinely believe only one ethnic group needs to be here. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it's tribalism.
Wait. If I can, my brother.
Language, but go on.
Go ahead.
If I may, you see, the negotiation of a country like Nigeria is quite different from any other African country. It's very different. And it's largely, you see, we have not just large entities, we have 3 of the biggest ethnicities in the whole of Africa.
Can you mention
Hausa,
real quick?
Igbo, and Yoruba. We are number 1, 2, and 3 of all ethnicities in the whole of Africa. So with that in one...
Oh my God, why you lying? Why are you lying? Yorubas are not bigger than Fulanis, man. What are you talking about?
A man of Fula supremacist, man. You can tell from his voice. This dude got no bass in his voice, and he's trying to masquerade like his tribe is so powerful.
At the end
No,
of
leave him.
the
He's just a complete
Yorubas
fool.
are in Togo.
Can you mute that guy? Can
You've been in England for over 60 years.
There
Can
are
you
a
mute
lot
him?
of countries that
I'm not up to
have
60,
that
you
dynamic.
fool. Can you mute him?
Jagu, what did you say? What did you say, Jagu?
What I said was simple, and it's fact.
Go ahead.
The Hausa, the Igbo, and the Yoruba are not just the largest nationals in Nigeria, they're the largest in the whole of Africa, the largest groups. And given that, the negotiation between these 3 groups, given all of the other antecedents, like the Fulani introduction, are over the Hausa, where they're about 6% in the country, and the Hausa about 27%. So given all these sort of difficulties, it is very difficult to have that kind of oneness. However, everybody who calls himself a Nigerian, by whichever ethnicity, they have a love for that country called Nigeria. They know what it can be. They know how deep it is within their own and with outside of themselves. The only thing is to make this marry a real marriage. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's all I can say. Because me as a Yoruba man, I can think foolishly and think, this whole country should be Yoruba now. We are the most influential. We are the most this. We are the most that. Then the Igbo man would say his own. The Fulani would say his own, covering the Hausa point of view, which they've unfortunately been shut up to a large extent because of people.
Jagun is right that the Yorubas are 10 million more than Fulani population. Yes, Yorubas are 10 million more than Fulani. He's right. He's right.
I would bet on it. Dennis.
No, but if you
just be quiet. Just be quiet.
I would bet money on it. Dennis. I would bet money on it.
Just ask ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT.
10 million. Yorubas are 50 million. Fulani are 40.
Dennis, ask ChatGPT.
No, I would bet money on it.
Generated culture, electric is the mutual interest, right, between these different groups. Why can't the focus be on the mutual interest?
I'll put it like this, Will. What the guy said, I agree with the identity of putting the identity of being something else other than your ethnic group. It worked. Listen, it worked in places like Singapore because of the way Singapore was created. If you look at it, was something that happened organically, and the people that were part of Singapore made a decision. Yeah, Lee Kuan Yew made a decision that they were going to put aside their ethnic differences and embrace being Singaporean and to have everything done in English. All your teaching is in English. All your street signs are in English. Also, they had a merit-based system that would basically prevent any ethnic favoritism.
But CJ, I'm saying,
Willie, let CJ finish, Willie.
Willie, that isn't really organic.
Go ahead.
And also, it's not. We have to accept that. That's
but
not.
CJ, I'm saying, like, can the unification?
He only used the wrong word.
As well.
Can I ask CJ a question?
Go ahead, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask CJ a question. Willie, let me ask CJ a question again. Speaking about ethnic group, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually have, I think I have 2 questions, but the first one is, how many Igbos live in the north? Kaduna, Kanu, live in the north. About approximately how many live there?
I mean, Kaduna, Abuja, and Kano, it's got to be at least a couple of million.
Okay.
And I'm talking all through the north. It's not
right.
So they have loads of Igbos, I think, in the north.
Right. So my point is, right? They have that many Igbo live in the north. They have other groups live in the southeast, Lagos, and so on.
And other groups live in the north.
Right. So my thing is, what is the problem? I don't see any goddamn problem.
No.
What is the problem?
Yeah,
Because the Igbos that live in the north, the Igbos that live in the north. Oh, let me finish. Bang, bang. The Igbos
Let
that
Kaka
live
finish.
in the north, the Igbos, from what I've been observing, the Igbos that live in it, because I know somebody that's an Igbo, he live in the north and he do business in the north. Him and they will never leave the north. They won't leave it. You see what I'm saying?
No,
They have their family history in the north. They won't leave it. So the back and forth and who live where and who don't go business where, don't go to the north. I think it's all bullshit because when I
all that came from one person now.
I never even.
But hold on though. One group is trying to separate Nigeria currently. One group is trying to separate Nigeria. One group does not call themselves Nigeria.
How about what group doesn't belong in Nigeria? How about what group doesn't belong in Nigeria? How about what group came there?
The Igbos don't really have issues with the Hausa. It's the Islamic domination that they have a problem with.
Elvis, you're not helping when you're not part of
You bring jihadism.
Just leave it. No,
what development?
What did this effeminate dude bang crying and whining about, almost on the verge of tears?
He's an idiot.
Listen, guys, we got to close out. Everyone, thanks for joining.
Nigeria belongs to Fulani, man. Ask everybody that don't like it. That's facts.
Oh boy.